Warning. The Pop Punk Book Club features heavily biased opinions and unapologetically wild takes performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals to ensure the safety of performers and animals alike. We may sound confident, but our views are based entirely on personal feelings. Accordingly, the PPBC and the producers must insist that everyone attempt to recreate and reenact these stunts and activities. Join us at poppunkbookclub.com.
We're walking through Paddy's Markets area, and they had a whole bunch of different, like, you know, in Australia, like food from around the world. It's like, oh, there's Lebanese street food over there. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty good, because we're looking at all the different places and deciding what to get.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. Do you know why people, though, the Lebanese moved from like Scandinavia, why they migrated to Lebanon? She's like, why? And I was like, shawarma. And then she laughed at that, and I was like, I made that up. I've earned my dad card.
That's not as bad as most of your dad jokes, though.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm not sure that is a compliment.
Cheers.
Does it hurt your feelings, though, that you are kind of known as the dad joke guy?
Am I?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like within, like, I don't know. I see you as a dad joke guy. I think there's other, like...
But you said known as the dad joke guy.
Well, sorry, that's not the only thing you're known for. But, like...
Yeah, that's my defining thing of all the things I've done in my life.
No, I shouldn't have said it like that. I just mean, like, that is a distinct part of your personality, I would say.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not the only one that has recognized that. Like, I feel like we've been out with Brent before, and he's been like, oh, Jay.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I remember any jokes my dad used to give me? Yeah. He said to me, he used to say when like food would come out, he'd go, you ever been to India? And we'd say no. And he's like, yeah, that India. Whatever the food was. So I remember those ones, but it's plagiarism. Fatherhood plagiarism.
Oh, I see what you mean. You've got to come up with your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I refuse to yield to that. I'm not going to let that become part of my...
What? Being
like,
funny?
No, becoming a dad joke like person.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame, because the life is better on this side of the tracks.
You were it before you became a dad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's called having a sense of humor. You sound shit, but so do I.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of like teetering. I'm always teetering. There's always illness in my house, and it's just kind of like a question of how long it's going to be till it hits you.
Everyone listening now needs to understand how easily we could have not come in tonight.
Oh, no.
I don't know if I'm sick or if I'm in the middle of getting sick. I think I've just had a severe allergic reaction as I get every now and then, and I'm so out of it. I'm so achy. I may as well have the flu. That's pretty much like what it is. And then, you called me this afternoon. It was like, just letting you know, because I know you've got a lot of stuff on. Like, I'm sick again. And I was like, I don't care anymore.
I know we joke about getting the hazmat suits, but I really think maybe we need to just...
Or just like a plastic, like COVID shield, you know what I mean? So they used to have at the tellers during 2020. We need one of them there. And then we have to be like the Feeling This film clip with the high fives for flames, shared flames through there. But if I cough or sneeze, everyone, I am so sorry. I'll do my best to not do it. And it's weird. It's like, why don't you just edit them out? No. I'm just going to keep
Everyone has to suffer. If we're suffering, everyone's going to suffer.
Yeah.
It sucks that when someone in your house is sick and you know it's coming and you're just like, there's not much I can do to stop
That's
this.
how I feel now with you in the room when I know you're sick, because it's never, you're just like, oh, it's just a real basic thing. And it's like you have the equivalent of the Bruce Banner Hulk immune system, and I have like a paper thin
Jess
little...
is even better. She barely gets any of the viruses that come into the house. I think because she works in the hospital. She's developed like atomic level immunity.
But it's going to take a superbug to take it out. I'll just die one day and be like, oh dear, I think that wasn't just a cold. It took Jay out. But it hasn't all been bad news.
Yeah, okay.
I was in Sydney for the weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seeing a comedian?
Yeah. So we went and saw Chris D'Elia, the comedian. Do you know him?
No.
I used to watch his stuff ages ago, and like his podcast when it first came out. And then I didn't, admittedly, I haven't followed him a lot.
Yeah.
But when we saw that he was coming out, Kate's a huge fan of his wife. Has like, she loves her on Instagram and everything she does, whatever. Unfortunately for her, pretty much the whole set was him talking about being a dad with his kids and his wife.
Okay.
And so she was funny, very funny. But man, it was funny. Like I had seen him before. I saw him the first time he came out to
what's his podcast called?
Congratulations. I was at the State Theatre in Sydney. It's such a beautiful venue.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd been there before, maybe, but it was like really fancy. Yes. The first time I saw him, I can't remember where it was, but it was in a small room that probably had about 250 to 300 people. Like it was quite small.
Yeah, right.
And that was heaps of fun. seeing him there when he first came out. He just was whinging so much about how he didn't know how long the flight was. It's actually kind of funny. I remember at that show, he said, I talked to my friends about it. Like, I was like, oh, I have to fly to Australia soon. It's going to be like so long of a flight. It's like a 14-hour flight. And the guy's like, oh, just go to sleep the whole time. He said, that's the equivalent of going to sleep, sleeping a whole night, waking up and going, I got to do it all over again. Go back to sleep the whole night.
Also much easier said than done. Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can't sleep in moving vehicles. Hey, I think I might get better as I get older.
Moving vehicle.
I've never been able to do it. So like, I remember when I went to America with my dad when I was like 19, I was so excited that I fell asleep that I woke up 20 minutes later, fully refreshed, thinking that I just slept for hours. And he was watching the same movie. I was like, and I was convinced. I was like, oh, he must have watched it again. Like I thought he put it on twice. I said, how long have I been asleep? He was like 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway.
For me, it's like planes I can't sleep on.
Right.
And it's not the legroom, surprisingly. It's actually what to do with your head when you're really tall and like your head's so far above the seat and you're kind of like, I can't sleep like this. I can't like...
I just have bad posture, so I'm putting pressure on my back bad, and then I just can't sleep, I don't think. But I think maybe as I get older, I might be better at it. Who knows? Because I don't know. We're just talking about getting old now, but that's pretty much what it is. I feel like I can nap better. But Chris D'Elia in Sydney at the show, it was so funny. But like, to be honest, I mean, the set was fine. Like, it wasn't like it was, I mean, I can't use the word fine because of the book club. It sounds like I'm rating it there. I think I don't want to give it a rating. I enjoyed myself, but it was almost like the stuff happening where we was funnier than like on stage at times.
Right.
Like, he was very funny, don't get me wrong. And we laughed a lot about that. But like at the start, he came out and made a joke that he said, imagine if Chris Pratt tweeted that. Like, his career would just be over, but it's okay for me to say that in this room here.
Yeah.
And essentially, it would put it straight in the cancelled folder, essentially. And what was really funny is that he made a joke out of nowhere about the Asian population in Sydney, essentially saying, like, this is Asia, right? Because like...
Okay.
Right? And everyone didn't say anything. He's like, because there's just so many Asians, and everyone like burst out laughing. He's like, oh, you can't say that sort of thing. Like, but Sydney has like a huge Asian population there.
Sure.
Next to me, on my right in the seat was a lady and her husband, and her husband was wetting himself, like full belly laughing, like absolutely cracking out laughing, and she's sitting there dead silent. She was Asian and he wasn't, so someone's like, that's hilarious. And she was funny, but he was like, that is right. And he made this joke specifically about sitting in the airport and seeing people of Asian persuasion, will say, come in declaring items, going through customs, and how
when you say persuasion, it's like, I don't think they choose.
I just in my mind, I was like, that can rhyme. I can use that.
The Asian persuasion, that's good.
Yeah, but
that sounds like someone's sexual taste. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or like a Wolf of Wall Street kind of sales book. Coming through the airport, they always have to declare, they always get flagged at customs because they have to declare their beans or something like that. And he was wetting himself laughing, almost to the point like maybe his mother-in-law or father-in-law coming from like wherever his wife's from, like whatever country, they may do something similar that. So he was losing it. It was very, very, very funny. Anyway, in front of us, two girls came in and they were just like so loud. Like, they were so drunk and being stupid and whistling, and people, that was really annoying. People around us were all looking at her, and one girl in front of us was trying to get security, get it kicked out and stuff. And then she ended up like verbally sparring with the guy in front of her who was like, shut up. And she's like, we're not even being loud. And then like...
What sort of demographic?
In the crowd.
No, were
these girls, I would say they were probably just on 20-ish or something like that. And it was like it was really weird though, because she argued so much about not being loud, and then kept being louder despite the guy who said, please don't, like, you need to keep it down because we can't hear him on stage, because he wasn't very loud in the venue. Like,
sure.
Especially when he pulled the mic down, you could barely hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
And anyway, long story short, she ended up leaving like 5 minutes later because she's like, and then she apologized to one of the girls on the way and said, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't, like, we're very drunk. Like, I didn't know that we were that loud. So she's like arguing with people knowing she's in the wrong. Anyway, people are weird. But what happened, so it's been a pretty chaotic like setup or whatever.
Yeah. Was this early in the set?
Yeah. So she left probably within the first 10 to 15 minutes of the set. So Kate's next to me, and I keep seeing Kate like look to her right all the time, and I could just catch it in my peripheral.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you looking at? She's like, nothing, don't worry about it. I was like, okay. And I was like, sure. But then she kept looking. At first I just believed her that it was nothing. And then she kept looking, and I was like, I don't know what she's looking at, like what's going on. Anyway, so the lady next to me is like, she starts looking around, like it was pitch black. Well, not pitch black, but it was very dark, so you couldn't see the floor. So she's looking around trying to feel on the ground. She's like, with her feet first trying to find something, then with her hands trying to find something.
Kate, this is.
No. The lady next to me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then she ends up on the floor on all fours with her phone. First of all, like just the main screen, like on the floor trying to find it. And then
Yes.
turns around, puts the torch on, and it's like
Okay,
shining the torch.
right.
She's like, I'm so sorry to us. And we're like, it's all right. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's all good. Like, keep going with it. Her husband's then on all fours with a torch looking around. And I'm like, can I help you? Like, as in, like, can I give you assistance? Like, whatever it is. And he goes, oh, it's so embarrassing. She says it's so embarrassing. And the husband's like, she's lost a shoe. Like, she has like, you know how like a lot of girls wear the Birkenstock slides, like things. She lost a shoe. So she's like, I can't find my shoe. So she's up and under the chairs trying to find it, blah, blah, blah. And then I feel something hit my foot. And I look over and Kate's like, oh, there it is. And picked it up and gave it to her. And she went, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. How did it get over there? Because she's here, I'm here, and Kate's here. The shoe was there. So how did the shoe get 3 seats across, right?
Yeah.
And her husband immediately is like, you idiot. What is your shoe doing over there? Blah, blah, blah. He's like going to be on her back for the rest of her life going, how did your shoe end up 3 things over? And Kate's just like, don't say anything or whatever. And then she ended up getting it and she had to go to like the bar or something. And I go to Kate, what's going on? Like, what was that about? And she's like, I accidentally put her shoe on. I was like, what? And she's like, don't say anything. She's like, I accidentally put her shoe on. And for those listening, my fiancée is very pregnant at the moment and her feet were swelling. So she kicked her Birkenstocks off. And she's like taking a bit of a break or whatever and then put her shoe on, which she thought was a bit over. So that's why she kicked me earlier. And she put a shoe on and went, she thought to herself, man, my feet are swollen. These don't even fit me anymore. And then she's like trying to wear it. And then she realized, oh my goodness, it feels plasticky. This isn't my shoe. And then she kicked it off and she thought it was the person in front of her.
Yeah,
so she's trying to kick the shoe under the thing to get it back to the person in front, which has lost the shoe thing. And when the lady's trying to find it, she's gone, oh my goodness. I said, is that what you're looking at? She's like, yes. She's trying to find, like trying to see like if the lady had noticed if it was her shoe, like she didn't know where the shoe had come from.
Did Kate realize earlier and was like, I don't know whether to say anything or not?
No, because I think she would have positioned it so the girl could have found it. She thought it was the lady in front that was going to reach under it. And and then when they were on all fours, she's like, oh my goodness, it's their shoe. So she's trying to kick shoe over. So funny, man. I was wetting myself laughing at that. I laughed harder at that than I did in anything in the comedy show. And I found it pretty funny. So what have you been listening to this week?
To be honest, I've mainly just been listening to Futures for this, to prepare for this episode.
Yeah. I've enjoyed this. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I have enjoyed listening to that album this week for sure.
Have you been listening to anything else?
Yeah. Look, I'm trying to, we've been on a big kick about punk rock history, so to speak, and I'm trying to go back. So I'm trying to go back to like back. And I've been, I'm trying to work my way through Minor Threat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never really been able to get into them.
It's tricky because it's not my favorite thing, but I don't know if it's not my favorite thing because it isn't or because it's not my favorite thing yet, but it's definitely challenging. And also I feel the same way about Bad Brains. Like I've seen some of their live stuff and I thought it was some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. And it made me just want to listen to the albums, but I'm not quite sure exactly where to start. I mean, if anyone out there knows much about Bad Brains and knowing the podcast, where should we start?
Yeah.
But because I saw some of the live stuff I saw was killer. Like I was like, this band is sick. I can't wait to like go back and listen to them.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But they are, it's when I listen to some of the later albums, it's very different and very enlightened. Like it becomes very
Minor Threat, that is.
No, Bad Brains.
Oh,
because they end up changing their name at one point to, I can't remember, but it was something more positive than Bad Brains.
Oh, right.
Because I think it was like an enlightenment thing of like, we're here to like make a difference with our message and not be Bad Brains sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so Bad Brains is cool. And but I want to find that energy that I saw in the live stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
well, maybe I might have a little nugget for you, a little present coming up very soon. In a certain segment that we all enjoy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
New Bad Brains song. But I got a couple of comments to read out from you guys. So first of all, by the way, you posted the Poppeth Punk twice. Yeah, because another girl commented and got the answer right. I feel bad. I feel like she should get a shout out because she's the first of that reel.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have that saved. So if that's you, well done. So
it's the worst kind of shout out. No one else knows except for
you. The good part is that a lot of people could feel happy right now. They might all think it's them. So on the reel we put up of my takes and saying that I wasn't a huge fan of The Offspring, I'm sorry. I didn't know The Offspring, especially Smash, was such a like delicate album that if you say anything slightly wrong about, people just come for your neck.
Is it a delicate album or are the fans a bit delicate?
Oh, no. All right, guys. You thought I was the enemy.
Hey, I rated it higher. Did I?
New target acquired. If it wasn't for the...
It's their own fault is what I say. If they hadn't included so many filler and context
pieces,
tracks, my rating would have been much higher.
Yep.
I enjoyed listening to that album much more than my rating reflected. The rating system did not work for that album.
You like the music on the album.
Yes.
So it was a creative decision for them to put in the... I can't help but feel that if we hadn't already, punched on and punched out the... remember the thing with Blink about the what's a context speaks, what isn't? If we did Smash first, one of us would have died. Because it's like you would have been like, this is an integral to the album. It's like they put it on there. But so the comments have got, someone said, bro, self-esteem only being good, that stings. Like,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And someone else said, I don't even know what to say to that level of wrong.
Well, I gave it a flame, so there you go.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Oh, man. By the way, lots of people on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater videos, or when we put that one up again, that got a bit of traction. And a lot of people actually saying they agreed with me that Tony Hawk's Underground 1 was the best of all time.
Okay.
Sorry, is their favorite, but they know that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 is the best, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
But there are people that argue, oh, no, Thug 2, because it's like funner. And I guess they might be a little bit younger than me, so they grew up with that one instead, perhaps.
Yep.
But Underground 1, I think, is where it's at. And a lot of people were like, this takes right on the money. And I was like, that feels good.
Yes.
Because it's two games that I'm mentioning, and they say that's it, which is good. It's actually funny, though, because, I mean, my love for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater goes way back.
Yes,
I was such a good kid that I just didn't ever not do the right thing. And one time when I was in like year 6 or year 5, I went to one of my good friend's birthday parties at his house. I remember we were outside playing before we had dinner, and like, after dinner, we're going to watch the South Park movie. And I was like, I have OCD, as you know. I didn't know it when I was a kid that I had it, so I didn't understand what it was, but I was obsessed with ratings of movies. So I could tell you any movie, and it would be like, that's M15 plus for low-level course language. I would just know everything of what that meant. I knew what all the ratings were, etc. Yeah, okay. The red flags were there.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed with ratings, and I was like, you can't watch that. That's MA15 plus for medium-level course language, like, or whatever it was. Like, I just knew it. And they were like, but we're going to watch it at South Park. It's funny or whatever. And I was like, I can't watch that because I'm not allowed to watch MA15 plus movies. And they went and watched that in one room. And I went by myself to another room and just played through Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Finished it.
Pretty much. I would have gone through it at least once, Skater maybe. And then I got bored with it. And then I went out to his dad, who I remember was sitting in the kitchen, like reading a newspaper or having a cup of coffee, trying to get away from the kids in the party.
Yeah.
And here comes little Jayson wanting to chat to him about like anything.
That's where you got your dad jokes from that conversation that evening.
No, he was sick of me in about 2 seconds. He straight away called my mum and was like, we've got your son here in the kitchen saying that he can't watch the South Park movie. And I remember my mum on the phone being like, Jay, you're not meant to watch that movie, but as a kid, you're meant to do it anyway and just like deal with it. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Mom.
But it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm like, why am I going to go do the wrong thing and then have to deal with being in trouble for doing the wrong thing when I thought you want me to do the right thing?
Yeah.
The struggles of being a kid.
She expects you to contravene the rules.
Yeah, you're meant to go do it anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like,
did your
this is
parents
too
strictly
confusing.
enforce the ratings?
No. But I told
my parents were much more, like they were very strict.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
it sounds like you didn't try and get around it anyway, so maybe you didn't need to explore that issue. But I know like my parents were more, or some of my mum was more strict about them than other friends' parents. And so like,
I saw some movies that like messed me up as a kid that I probably shouldn't have been able to watch at the age I did. Like a Terminator 2, when I first watched that. That's pretty violent for like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old to see or whatever. And I genuinely was like scared of nuclear bombs going off for ages because of that movie. But I was allowed to watch movies that had that stuff in it. But again, I told you the story about the Alanis Morissette CD with the swearing. Perhaps that's where that trauma came from. You come for the music, you stay for the therapy. That's what this podcast's thing is. Anyway,
we need to bring back 20-second therapy too.
Oh, we do actually. Yeah, that's when I got stuff to rant about. But yeah, I will say that I'll tell you what. On one of the videos, there was one guy that sided for me with the book club draft. I got one guy.
You got one.
One guy. So that's
more than one.
There was more than one, but no, it's I'm really happy about that.
All right, Greggy boy, hit me with those tunes, baby.
He finds a new song from a brand new record, then tries to give it his best 10 seconds. That's all it takes for him to tell you what he reckons. It's premature evaluation with Sam.
Gets me every time.
All right. So this week's premature evaluation is literally premature because this album hasn't even come out yet.
Oh.
Yeah. This is hot off the press, this news.
Yep. So I'm trying to think of a sexually new one and Joke, but we'll leave it. Yeah.
There's too many already.
Just know I had the intention.
Yep. Social Distortion has a new album coming out. Did you know that? So speaking of old school punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got a new album coming out in May. But they've released one of the songs, the first song off the album, which is called Born to Kill.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never listened to much Social Distortion.
Yeah. So it's obviously they're a I guess, a punk band that's been around since the 70s.
Mhm.
And I've never listened to a whole lot of their music either, but I know like they've been quite influential. A lot of the bands that we love have spoken about them as being one of the bands that they
Okay.
loved. And I know from reading the Derek Whibley autobiography that he talked about how the chord progressions on one of the Social Distortion albums was really influential on him when writing Does This Look Infected?
Oh,
Which
okay.
ties in nicely to our podcast.
I mean, I'm keen. Well, we've both got that at number 1, eh?
Indeed, that's right. So this song is like, to be honest, it's more like old school rock and roll than punk. But I think from what I understand, like Social Distortion has always had like a bit of a rock and roll twist to their like style of punk.
Okay.
So if you like that style of punk, then this is probably going to be right up your alley.
Yeah, I have no opinion of whether that's different or not because I don't know. I haven't really listened to them.
I guess that's true.
Maybe I know a song or two if people were like, oh, that song is actually Social Distortion, but I can't put any songs to.
Yeah, but this one, it's probably not my cup of tea in terms of the specific style, but like I'd say it's probably like on a premature evaluation, I'd put it in the good range.
Okay, yep, nice.
Yeah. But I definitely recommend people listening to it if that's their style.
But also the fact that a band like Social Distortion that has been around for so long coming out with new music is flame tier, crown tier. I'm happy about that, you know what I mean?
Okay. Futures by Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah, my pick.
Your pick.
It was,
This was your like...
my little hijacking.
You did. You hijacked the schedule and you said, we've got to do this. Why? Tell me why you were so keen to do this album.
I've always loved this album.
Yes.
And I've always... Well, at least I loved it a lot when I was younger. And I don't know what it was, but maybe it was the fact that it was summer and I might have listened to the album a lot. I mean, I listened to it a lot, but maybe I started listening to it a lot in summer. And something just triggered the nostalgia for me of like, I really just feel like working my way through Futures. Honestly, I think that as we've been doing the book club, I've thought about albums I'd like to do. And this is one that I've always had on the back of my mind. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it.
I know that from what you've said previously. I know that this is like a special album for you.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to hear your song ratings.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting though that you said it makes you think of summer or like you thought of it during summer.
Yeah.
Because for me, and it's only occurred to me tonight driving over here. I was listening to it, driving over, it's nighttime, it's dark, it's pissing down outside,
rain.
pouring
Oh my goodness.
rain.
Couldn't see 2 seconds in front of you.
Yeah. And I just had this thought of, well, I didn't have this thought. It's not really that groundbreaking, but it's just like, it feels to me like this is a perfect album for driving at night in the rain.
Oh, I have a note later saying that this is the perfect, I didn't have the rain part, but it makes it even better. I said it's like the perfect going for a late night drive.
Yeah.
I think I said when you're sad. So the rain comes from your eyes in that situation, but it's a similar thing. There's water
when
involved.
you're like, when you've got like that kind of
reflective nighttime
Yes.
drive.
Yep.
Yeah. And they have a song called Nighttime
they do,
Drive,
yeah.
which is
maybe
they knew.
Maybe that's infiltrated me.
Also,
Yeah.
I think that subconsciously the cover art being dark with the payphone,
True.
it sets up the night vibe rather than
it
like
does.
a bright, vibrant thing.
Yeah.
I just remember how I got this album when I was younger. I think I got it around summertime.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure.
But I do have an interesting story about how I got it.
Well, please tell us.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, I think I was on my P's at least because I drove in there by myself. So I might have been on my green P's. Did we listen to this in high school? I don't think
so. This is 2004.
It
But
was.
to be honest, I don't know that I did listen to it a lot in high school.
No, because that's the problem with the release dates. It sounds like if it's 2004, then that might have been the year we listened to it. Like, I don't think, I mean, this album wasn't like as big as Bleed American.
No.
And that's the whole point. I think I might have been like on my green P's, which is like 19 rather than 18. So I think it was actually after school. I went into the Newcastle Entertainment Centre when they had, do you remember back in the day, they had the big, massive, in the big shed, they'd have like the rows and rows of like books and CDs and DVDs and it's like all clearance stuff. I was going through that trying to find stuff and I found this album. I found Futures by Jimmy Eat World and I was like,
you didn't know it at that time?
Well, I knew Jimmy Eat World, but I didn't know this album at all.
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. It was foreign. When I picked it up, it was a completely foreign album to me. And I was like, oh, I don't know if this comes before or after Bleed American. I liked Bleed American. Why not get it? And let's just see if it's any good. But a part of me was like, well, it's at like a bargain, essentially the equivalent of like a bargain bin. That's what this massive big event was. It was to clear out all like stock and stuff. And there's a bunch of Futures CDs there. I'm like, oh, it might not be very good. Little did I know, I was picking up what would become one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Maybe ever. We'll see if it still translates. But like, at least when I was younger, I fell in love with this album.
Yeah.
But it was purely just because I found it in a random discount bin, sort of like the equivalent, as I said, of a discount bin event. And I think it was $5 that I picked it up for.
Value?
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, and then I just kept thinking to myself, why would this be stock that was hard to clear? Like, then I found out it's actually the album after Bleed American. No, it was brand new. It was just a whole bunch of stock that books and I mean it was definitely it was meant to be like a big bargains, get your savings, get your deals.
Goes to show, take a chance when you see something.
Yeah, 100%.
But I guess like one of the big things to talk about with Jimmy Eat World is how influential they were on 2000s emo, but also like pop punk as well. Because I feel like they were super influential on a lot of pop punk bands in terms of bringing in a little bit more emotion into their music.
Yeah. They sit in a strange space because they're not quite pop. They're not pop punk and they're not pop punk rock. Definitely not. They're not like, they're not emo or emo rock. I guess to me, I've always considered them to be like pop rock. But I think a lot of people would call like bands that would make, the radio, the top charts, they're pop rock. I would, if I'm being particular, I would consider that to be more like pop/rock, pop or rock sort of thing, not popular rock. It's so hard to explain. At least within the pop punk world, I think they're more pop rock style, but in all music, they might not be. But that proves my point. They're such a hard band to categorize.
I see them coming out of that 90s emo scene.
Yeah.
I see them very differently to what emo would become in like the mid 2000s, which is what I think of when people say emo. Yeah. That's what I think of, like the mid 2000s where it became such an aesthetic and such a scene.
But just like how pop punk has evolved, people have a million different views of what emo means. Like some people think it's The Cure.
And when we were reading Sellout, you learn a lot about the history of emo in that book and how it's very different from what it would eventually become. Yeah. And I feel like Jimmy Eat World they come out of that 90s space.
Yeah.
But they were very different from previous, obviously emo had been around since earlier than that. But I feel like a way that Jimmy Eat World kind of influenced that genre was they're more melodic and there's a brightness to them.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the darkness of some of those other emo bands. That's
so true. They definitely don't bring like depression with their sound, which is what came later.
That's a really good point. Yeah. Because I was going to say as well that there's a real optimism in a lot of their songs. This album,
it's like a poignancy in the sadness. It's not a complete when he's sad, there is a bittersweet poignancy. It's not like and I've given up. It's like a bittersweetness.
Yeah, completely. And they had an album. I don't know whether you listened to this album, but Chase This Light, which came out in 2006.
I have to admit, Jimmy Eat World on a very real level is a really tricky band for me to listen to because there are three bands that, due to, and maybe people who've gone through mental health stuff may get it. But I find it really hard sometimes to listen to three bands in particular because of the fact that they take me back. They got me through some such dark times that when I listen to it, I can't help but feel like they transport me back to that.
Yes.
And those three bands are, if you're interested, Brand New.
Yep.
Specifically the darker stuff, as in like probably Devil and God to like Daisy in particular. Motion City Soundtrack. Got me through so much stuff that I still feel now. Like when we saw them live, I was like, that was so moving emotionally because I couldn't help but face some of these songs that got me through some really dark times. Or at least I used to listen to a lot during those darker times. And Jimmy Eat World.
Yeah.
And not Futures Baby. We're good to go. That's a good album. But Chase This Light was one of the albums that I listened to a lot when I was going through depression. Yeah.
Because that came out, I think 2006. And I remember listening to that tons. Well, that was our last year of high school. So the following year I was listening to it heaps.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever spoken to you about it, but I didn't realize you connected with that album as well. For me, I love that album so much.
Do you remember when I said on a previous episode that we went and saw at Soundwave Jimmy Eat World played?
Yeah.
That might have been the first time I ever heard any songs off Chase This Light. And I went and bought it after because it's like Big Casino, Let It Happen, songs like that. And I love them so much that I went and bought that album and I listened to it so much, but it happened to be at a really dark time. Not saying at all that I don't like the music. I loved it so much and it was so flame-worthy that maybe sometimes the flame burns you. You know what I mean? Like it's just hard to look back on.
Yeah.
But it's Chase This Light in particular was an album that was very very, very tied to that era.
And I would say that there's a real like optimism in that album thematically, but it's got like a kind of like a melancholy kind of
which is why it hit me so hard as someone who felt exactly that way. Yep. Like same with Motion City Soundtrack. There's the same type of optimism in the letting go of everything. Yeah.
Yep.
But perhaps why that connected with me so much at that time.
Yeah.
Gone this far without sneezing. There may be one coming. But keep going. Good to go. No, bless you, but.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Anyways.
Another thing in terms of like the influence of Jimmy Eat World would have to be they are one of like the emo bands that really brought that genre into the mainstream, I feel, as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I remember,
particularly in that era.
Like, especially on Bleed American. Like that was an album that blew up for them. But I remember that May Angels Lead You In song from Bleed American.
Yes.
That was huge because it was around the time that like if you had a good acoustic song like that, That was so in at the time for the era, and so many people who wouldn't have given the whole band a shot would give the acoustic song a shot, and that was such. I Miss You was a good timing for that as well.
Yeah,
but definitely for I can't remember what that song's called, but the one May Angels Lead You Away.
Hear You Me.
Hear You Me. That's it. Exactly. Is also that was in the Butterfly Effect, the movie with Ashton Kutcher. I think that was in that. And I was like, oh, it's Jimmy.
Is it Never Been Kissed? Or there's another,
of course.
Or is it?
I wouldn't be surprised. It was such.
There's another movie that it's in. I can't remember what it is. Yeah. So I guess Futures comes out after Bleed American. So once they're already like Bleed American is I guess the album that really brought them into the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is Futures comes out at a time when they're like a very well established band. There's a few interesting parts of their history. Because did you remember when we were reading Sellout, they signed to a major label, I think, before they do Static Prevails.
Yes.
And so Static Prevails and Clarity are both released on a major. And then I think they get dropped from the major after that because Clarity didn't do as well as they were expecting it to do commercially.
Is that because all the stories, admittedly, looking back, I might be blowing them together in my mind. But I do remember something about, was it Jimmy World that they said, it was almost like they were destined for that album to be shelved indefinitely and the band had to do a lot of work to get it sold. Is that one?
You might be right about that. So then they get dropped from the label and then they self-funded Bleed American.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Like I was reading about that today. Like they went and got jobs. Like they'd saved money from touring, but then they went and got jobs to fund it.
Yeah.
And then I think Mark Trombino produced it.
I was going to say, did Mark Trombino do it?
And I think he agreed to like...
do it for free?
Defer his payment. Or defer his payment until
right. He said without payment. I remember that from Sellout. And he said that because whatever was Static Prevails did so well. Oh no, Clarity? One of the two did so well for his business that he was like, I'm happy to do this ahead of time.
Oh, that makes sense.
So it gets me more business.
It might have been Clarity because even though maybe it wasn't as big commercially, like it's so well revered.
Especially by bands.
Yes.
Like your favorite band. But then they would come to Mark Tremino being like, can you, we just want the Jimmy World sound, essentially, like want to go to that guy.
Yeah.
It's really funny here. Some of the really interesting notes here in the guide. One of the things saying that they initially began recording this with Mark Tremino in 2003. And then they took a break creatively. I have heard on Apple Music years ago the demos for this whole album, which is really interesting that that's available. I wonder if that was
still on there. I didn't listen to them, but I saw that was still on there.
But I wonder if that was like pre-break or after break. That was my thought there. Was that where they got to and then they went and re-recorded it? Is that Mark Tremino's work maybe perhaps? Because they went back with another producer to do
I get the impression
it's
not because I know that they wrote a bunch of the songs after they reconvened, so to speak.
Yeah, so they went and worked with Gil, it's Gil Norton, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say Gil or Jill. I don't know how, I didn't know how to pronounce Gil. They said they liked Norton's diverse resume, which included albums by the Pixies, the Distillers, and Dashboard Confessional. Well, the Distillers and technically Dashboard Confessional. He's in like a post-section interview thing in the book. Yeah. But there's a whole chapter dedicated to the Distillers, and I know who they are now. Didn't know them before.
I did skip that chapter.
I did. It's wild, that chapter.
Wait, that's not the band... there's like the girl from Australia, isn't it?
That's a really dark chapter. Yeah. She married Tim Armstrong from Rancid.
Right. I did listen to a bunch of that, yeah.
That's a really dark chapter, man, out of the whole book.
Super dark.
I love also
I think that's why.
It's like, this ain't the vibe. Drummer Zach Lynn said Norton pushed him to be more creative with his drum patterns than he'd been on Clarity or Bleed American. I'm like, the drum album on this work is like underrated. It's like Ringo Starr-esque in the sense that it's not overly flashy, but it's exactly what the song needs. And it's all quite recognizable by the drum beats, which I think is really cool.
Isn't it interesting that like just the idea of getting a fresh perspective can be really important? Because like Mark Trombino is a fantastic producer and he's produced a bunch of albums we've already done on the podcast. And I'm sure like a bunch that we will still do on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he'd done all of Jimmy World's like previous big albums, but they obviously just needed something fresh. And so Gil Norton comes in and I don't know, that's really interesting because it's not as though Mark Trombino is not a good producer. It's just they just need somebody else to give them that kind of like jolt to sort of like, I guess, spark their creativity.
Creativity is such a confusing thing. And there's actually a song later in here that I have a note about creativity and how it works. And I've studied it extensively. And creativity is so interesting because it's not something that a lot of people can rationally comprehend. And when I say a lot of people, I mean nearly nobody can rationally comprehend their creativity. So people say you have to wait for the spark. And then, same thing as myself. Like I'll just be out randomly, especially when I used to write songs, if I tried to sit down and write a song and like if I sat down and like and tried to put pen to paper and do it, I could never do it.
Yeah.
But I'd be out like doing something random and a melody would come in my head out of nowhere. And I go quickly, how do I write that down? Pre like voice memo days. And then now you just sing it into your phone. But sometimes you need to just completely change your environment. And because if you fall into old patterns, like that's where creativity kind of stalls and doesn't really come out.
Yes.
And I think Mark Tremino will probably be professional enough to know that it's not anything personal. It's just the band felt creatively stuck.
Interesting you say change of like scenery, because I think they went and recorded this one when they got back together after they took the break. I think they went back to wherever they're from in Arizona, whereas they'd previously recorded in California.
Oh, so it's like being home kind of brought that out. I mean, whatever decisions they made, it was incredibly special. It's really wild here that it says they recorded 9 or 10 versions of each song. Yeah. That's wild. That's so much work.
Yeah. It'd be so interesting to see how much they differed.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yeah. Also, did you see that Jim Adkins had said that he kind of saw this album as like a sequel to Clarity?
Which is really interesting. Yeah. Not a sequel to Bleed American, which is their prior
Exactly.
album.
Yeah. And I went back and listened to them this week. And like Bleed American, I love Bleed American.
Yeah, same.
But it's clearly a pop album.
Yeah.
And they're pop songs in terms of their structure. They've all got a very tight...
Where they were in their career, perhaps Bleed American was their attempt to make the major label album that would sell because of...
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So it's a different approach, yeah.
It's interesting though. Yeah, that's the one that comes when they're not on the label.
Yeah, but when they're like, we're going to give it our best shot. So maybe that was their best attempt at writing something commercial.
Yeah, but they've all got like a very clear like pop melodic hook.
Yes. And especially there's a song... Put in the jukebox on and plays in our favorite song. It's so poppy. Yeah.
But do you remember when we did it? Like this is the PPBC. Like before,
no, you said it wrong. It's the BC PPPPBC because it's before this podcast.
We did Bleed American. Yeah. I think I remember having this conversation with you because I think we both came to the view, or we both shared the opinion that that album is full of really well crafted, like technically accomplished songs.
Yeah.
That just like lack some kind of like emotional energy or some kind of energy that pulls it all together.
That could be that it's more rationally creative than creative if they're trying to aim for a commercial release. I'm not saying that is, but it supports that argument.
Whereas I feel like when you listen to Clarity and this album, it's not as poppy in terms of like conventional pop. It's definitely very melodic, but it's a little bit darker.
Yes.
The songs don't have as clearly defined structure, I don't think.
More inspired by creative vision. But even there's a song in here that he said he wanted to write it without repeating anything.
Yes.
Like it's actually trying to break the conventional norms to be like, to see if I can just do it. Yeah.
So I think it's interesting that Jim Adkins has said that it's sort of like a sequel to Clarity because musically it feels a little bit like a sequel to Clarity as opposed to a sequel to the album that came immediately before it.
Yeah,
which is
definitely.
Cool.
I've got a controversial, let's just say a Jayson from the past, like standard that we can at least hold this album against. Or more so, I want to road test a Facebook status update that I put up in like 2009. Let's just call it what it is. I boldly claimed, I remember on Facebook years ago, it was probably about 2009 or 2008, that Futures is the closest thing I've heard to a perfect album.
Oh.
Yeah. So this rating system, of course, didn't exist. It was still like 15 years away from being like even thought about. But it was just that, in my opinion, it was so good and I loved it that much. And I also loved how it moved through the songs and then had like how it positioned the songs, I remember. And also closing with 23, I thought was really cool back in the day.
Yes.
And I was like, that is rad. What a good idea to have like a really extended ballad to finish the album that was the way that 23 sounded. Yeah. So I was like, this is the closest thing to a perfect album. And even back then, I got hit with friends of mine that were like, that's a big call. Like, and they listen to a lot of music and they're like, wow, that's crazy. So back then, that's how much I love this, that I said it's the closest thing I've heard to a perfect album. I was going to find the exact status update, but I'm pretty sure it's bang on that. So we'll see as we go through the songs.
Interesting way to preface our songwriting.
Yeah, let's just see if it is closest thing to a perfect album. But we'll say that before we get into this, something I found really difficult with rating, if we were talking about the album at a broader macro level. Yeah. I think there's an easy problem, like a bias that we can fall into in the book club that I think we need to be aware of, if not for this release, for later releases as well, is that you can be like, with bands that are really consistent, it's really hard. Sometimes you can like rationally be like, well, surely it can't be another Crown or it can't be another Great or something like that. Like with Does This Look Infected, that's how I felt. Was like, this is a Crown. And I was like, but it can't be. Like, and I'd find myself rating some songs that if you look within the Crown rating, and this is getting very Jayson of the specifics, but there's a lot of room to move. That's why we even say with Flames, hard flame. You know what I mean? Like you can be, you can move within that space. That's the whole reason that the Flame category exists, is because we realized there was so much room within the Crown space.
But I guess there's so much room within the upper tier of songs.
Yeah, but there's even movement within Crown stuff. So even though a song may not be a top tier Crown, it's still a Crown. Like, and if I think to myself, and I've said this before on episodes, if another band released that song, I'd call it a Crown. So why am I not calling it a Crown? I'm calling it a Great because next to the song I just gave a Crown, it's slightly less, which means that later in like albums, if they have songs that aren't as good, you might end up rating them as a fine. With truth be told, they might more be a good. So I found this album like quite challenging in that regard. Because I found myself that I would hand out ratings and then go, but it's more than that. And if I looked at it within the sense of futures, like within that scale or scope, I would feel like it made sense there. But when I would look at that song that I rated in that particular rating against other songs I've rated in that rating, I went, no way, it's way better than they are. And then I would look at it for the next rating up and I go, oh, that fits in there. And I realized I was like one under.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what we call that. Maybe we call it the Jimmy Eat World. You know what I mean? When you do it that way. But that's what I've
Why
just
we call it
been
the future, like
Yeah.
corporate futures.
Yeah.
Feels like a bit tighter than the Jimmy Eat World. I had a similar feeling throughout recording this album where I was falling into that same trap where I was like, these can't all be crowns. Like there has to be a distribution.
Were there a few re-ratings for you? Because there were for me.
I'll often have like, when I'm going through to my ratings the first time through, it'll be like this/this.
Yeah.
And I'll refine them later. My initial vibe is like, this is either like a good or a great, not sure. Come back later sort of thing. I had a lot of those on this one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot where it's like, this could be a flame or this could be good.
Wow, big gap.
It's
I
also
either
one
love
that's
this song or
really
I hate
affected
it.
by nostalgia as well.
Yeah, which
Like
is adds into the emotion,
Yeah.
which makes it, I think, because that's not a flaw, because we're looking at the end of the day, emotional impact is what we're looking for. So if that comes via nostalgia, then fine. But that makes it really special when you find flames that aren't nostalgia tied. They're just new songs that hit you. They're extra special.
Okay. Futures. What'd you give it?
What do you think I gave this one?
I think I know what you gave it.
What'd you give it?
I
What
gave,
did I give it? Sorry.
I'm going to say what I think you gave it.
Yeah.
You say what you think I gave it.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
We're
3,
doing
2,
3, 2, 1?
3, 2, 1, then
Okay.
go.
I've got an explanation for yours because I don't quite know. Yeah.
Oh, you don't know?
No, so you tell me what do you think I got?
Flame.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'll say it and then we'll say if the other person is right on 3. 1, 2, 3, yes, or 1, 2, 3, no.
You haven't said what
Yeah, when I'd say it. I think that I want you to give this a flame, but a part of me feels like I might be blindsided by a crown.
No. You know.
I'll say flame.
Yeah.
It is?
Fine.
Yeah, we'll just count it. Okay, cool. And now we're definitely getting sick.
Everybody lick your hand.
Everybody's second sickness. This is such a hard flame for me, man. This is
It
like,
is a flame, yeah.
it's one of my favorite, we talked about best openers. Like this is one of my favorite opening riffs like on an album.
Yes.
Mm.
It's got really interesting opening song energy though. Like
what way?
It doesn't have explosive energy.
It explodes in.
I mean, again,
Punches you in the face.
It does punch you in the face for sure, but it's a slower song. You know what I mean?
The tempo is a bit slower, yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's an interesting energy to start.
Oh, it's not like a fast. Yeah,
Yes.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But that to me makes it feel like a tank rolling in. Like it's got that kind of power.
Tank is a good description because it's got that kind of like pulsating, like rolling kind of.
Yeah. The riff to me has always sounded to me, even when I was younger, like a superhero theme, like Superman or something. It just feels like it's da-da-da-da. That's pretty much what it feels like. It just keeps lifting up and matching that.
And then when they bring the
rhythm.
other guitar over the top, harmonizing with it, it's just like, God.
It's so good. And it's not, you don't hear that very often in like this genre or the pop punk sphere, so to speak, the metaverse, as we say.
Yeah, sure.
It's usually like in more metal where you would try to harmonize a riff.
Yes.
But it's a cool technique.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I think it's awesome.
Works so well.
Yeah.
But also, it's just such a well-crafted song.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know whether that's...
They can write a damn song.
They can write a damn song.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously can. And I wonder if Gil also is, part of it is his influence.
Yeah.
But it's just like the way the song builds, like through the verse into that really cool pre-chorus and then like the really big chorus.
It's
like,
huge. And then but it's not relying on really heavy cymbals. It's like just ride beat kind of thing. But it's just so uplifting and like ethereal in its loudness. Like it just works so well.
I feel like the word anthemic gets thrown around.
It is.
There's
anthemic.
a lot of
yeah.
Jimmy Eat World songs fall into
This is a stadium song for sure.
Yeah.
And then cutting back to like the really pretty bridge out of nowhere. Like it shows everything you like about Jimmy Eat World. But considering that, I mean, the opening on Bleed American was Bleed America, right?
It was.
Yeah. I'm just remembering off the top of my head. That's really loud and rocky and aggressive. But that was almost like, listen how rocky and aggressive we are. This one's like, we don't need to flex. We just are loud and like still melodic and big. We're just huge. It's like, this is what this song sounds like. I had no idea till reading this document that the song, I read out it verbatim. It says, Atkins says, this song is about George W. Bush. Yeah, it's about being dissatisfied with how things are going and about greed taking over. The speakers in the song are coming from a place where they've done everything right, a successful career, financial stability, but they're still getting squashed by the larger greed. They're taking it to the men. I said I had no idea about that. I was never a political song to me, but I don't think I ever had an idea of what it was about. I didn't think that deeply. I just loved the song.
I think I was never, I just didn't know either.
Yeah.
I think the giveaway is I Hope for Better in November. Because November is like, that's when their presidential elections are.
Yeah,
and this
definitely.
song was written in 2004 and that was an election year.
Yeah.
I think probably for Americans, that probably stood out a little bit more. Whereas maybe for us, we just didn't think about it that way.
But I think for us to really understand, because we weren't really that political, and two, definitely weren't political like in the American way, like about how political, like how politically focused they can be.
Yeah.
It took for us to see literally a president painted with a clown on his face and the American flag and the war on terrorism before we understood that it was political.
Yeah.
But that does make sense.
Did you get the vibe though? It feels to me it's about like young voters like getting the chance to vote for the first time.
This is wild that I'm sitting here talking about futures and we're talking about it's a political song. It just does not compute to me in that way. But yes, sorry, keep going. It
feels
strange.
like it's about young voters getting the chance to have their vote for the first time and getting to have a say. But it also feels as though there's like a tinge of like it's being compared to like a first romance as well. Because it's talking about like believe your first can mean something.
Oh, yeah,
like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's literally supposed to refer to being able to vote for the first time.
Yes.
But at the same time, it just feels there's
you can't
a romantic,
help but write a love song.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
That's it. I think that I've got a note here that this song is constantly building to explode back into the bang and riff. Like just to say it in musical terms, the whole like 4 to 5 to 1, like that build is used so much in like so many songs. I mean, the Ramones use that, but typically go 1 1 4 5 1 1 1 4 5. But in this, it's like 4 5 1 resolve back to the riff. And I don't think that it literally uses that chord progression in the pre-chorus, and I think in the bridge as well with the "We're wide awake and we're thinking, my darling." That's where it comes back in with the riff. I feel like the whole song, the chorus is even doing that too, and then it uses it again. Close our eyes on the nickel time, take the streets, and then back to the riff again. Yeah, it's constantly building into this 4 5, using that, but every time just lifting it to come back in with the riff.
Yeah,
and I think that's why every time you hear that,
that's the hook of the song.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it hits hard every time. You're not thinking to yourself, "Oh, I feel like I've heard this a million times." Like I don't know. I think this is like this song could not have gone anywhere else on the album other than first spot. I don't think.
I think that's true.
It would feel like launching a nuclear, not even a nuclear weapon, just like a massive explosion on like a later track. You know what I mean? And it could be a nuclear bomb. On the first track, it just comes in that hard. But you know how I feel about nuclear bombs since Terminator 2.
True.
Yeah, we know that now.
You're exposed to them way too early.
Alrighty, so just tonight, would you give this one?
So I feel like my rating for this song may be controversial.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right.
But for me, I said this is a good.
I knew you'd say good, you motherfucker. I got to set a crown.
You got a crown?
I love this song.
Okay. Tell me why.
Well, I mean, it's rocky, it's upbeat, it's crazy. I think also it would be very easy for me to potentially see this as a great only because it comes after Futures. And Futures is like in the top tier, like within the last quarter, if you're looking at it's over 3/4 of a flame at the highest thing you can possibly get as far as my ratings go.
Yeah.
And then this one I would say is like 20% into a crown. You know what I mean? Of like where I think it sits against the other crowns that I have. And I think because of that, you could go, oh, that's a huge gap. It's probably a great. I don't think it's like an undeniable crown. It's like the top tier or whatever. But I think that it's so catchy. Honestly, I've got a note here that I think it's one of the greatest second songs on an album ever. Like I think it just keeps the energy up. It's so loud. The rocky, like where it comes back to the and then in the second verse. It's just, to me, it's like I don't know, maybe when you first hear it, it sets the tone of the album. But after knowing the tone of the album, like this is such a predominant color on the album. I think it perfectly keeps you in what Futures is rather than like, I don't know. I think that Futures the song like sets a vibe, but it's not, the whole album doesn't sound like Futures the song.
No.
I think it sounds more like this. And I think this is bringing people in really nicely. Yeah. The rocky kind of emotional kind of stuff without being as
to me, I was to like
palatable.
Describe the album. I don't feel like this song represents the album.
Okay, what would you say?
I feel like one of the songs that's one of the next couple that we're coming to.
Okay, right. Yeah. Okay.
But I guess that's just like a personal thing, really, isn't it? Like that's like I get that it's catchy, but for me, it just doesn't. Something's missing from the song in terms of the chorus. That's like the thing for me that leaves me thinking, oh, this is a good song. It's not a bad song at all.
Yeah.
But it doesn't get into the great tier because it's missing something.
Okay.
My
just doesn't hit for you.
Doesn't hit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where it kind of comes down to it. Just like it does hit for me, like it always has. So like to me, this isn't a song I struggled with a rating for.
Yeah.
Like it was just this Crown. I love this one.
I mean, I've got a note that says I think it could be a great song, but the chorus lets it down.
Okay.
Yeah. I do think the
I don't think it's trying to be a single chorus though. I think that's what I appreciate for what it is. It's like, I mean, there's other songs on this album that I feel like I nearly rated. I won't say what I rated them. I can say it's I nearly rated them crowns because I thought the chorus was just. I mean, I originally thought not to rate it a crown because the chorus wasn't strong enough. But then I realized that the chorus was exactly all the song needed, and it kept the emotion up. And maybe sometimes you can default to rating things as crowns because you think. Like it needs to sound more like a single or something you can sing along with. And it doesn't necessarily have to do that.
No, I think that's right.
Yeah. And I think
but
that
I just like for me, like
that.
the signpost of like is something a crown is like if I'm saying to myself that's a banger.
Yeah. To me, as I've said, it's the playlist. If I want it in my non-skippable playlist, would I skip the song? And no, I wouldn't.
Whereas I think I would skip this.
I love it because to me it sounds like dark pop rock. Like it's pop rock, but it's dark. And it's like I wouldn't say this is like you technically could call it like emo rock or whatever, but like as a broader kind of term. But I think this song in particular sounds like aggressive, bitey, darky, like dark kind of rock.
Bitey is a good description.
Yeah, it's very bitey.
That guitar tone and the rhythm in the verse.
Yeah, where he says that's what I was saying before, all that wants the music stuff, the feeling better way to done it.
That is super bitey, but it feels to me like, and this is not a criticism, very of that time.
Oh, yep.
Like that kind of mid-2000s era, that guitar tone and that rhythm to me.
Yeah, right. I wonder what guitars they use.
Makes me think of that.
Do you know what's really weird? I have that Les Paul that is the orange color.
It sounds like a Les Paul.
Well, it's a limited edition color, right? Like, I don't know how many were made, but it's like a specific limited edition color of like a certain, like Les Paul, whatever. And there's a video of them doing features on a French TV show, and he's got the exact same guitar.
Oh, right.
Like the same color, same everything. I was like, wow, I've never seen one of them exist in the wild. He's got the exact same. Good taste.
That's interesting because I swear I've seen him using an SG.
I think he does, but like for the video, at least he was using a Les Paul.
I guess he probably interchanges a little bit.
But the same limited edition color. I haven't seen many of them around.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But I've just got one last night.
I mean, you did pick up this one when you were having a casual jaunt in Paris. So
I wondered for a moment, I was like, what if I have his guitar? But I said, no one can do their sound like them. Like bands try to do the Jimmy Eat World sound, but no one can pull it off. Like, because theirs is so creatively inspired. A lot of it comes from his voice, I think. Because he can go from, even when he gets loud and bitey, he still sounds like soft and lovable. Like he doesn't sound aggressive and harsh. And I think that's what is a huge thing. Because I have a note later that I will say about another song, but I'll say it now. He has such a compelling voice for me that whenever he starts singing, it's like I don't listen to anything else other than his melodies and what he's saying. And I think that's really special because there's so many other bands that I love. I'll always be listening to, listen to the guitars there, whatever. I have to actively do that because I get so caught up in the music just becomes a supporting element for his voice.
I completely agree with that. I just don't feel it on this song in particular.
Right, okay.
Yeah, like completely agree about Jim Adkins as a singer. Yeah.
We'll see where it goes. I'm interested. We're already separate.
We will find out. Okay, work. What do you got?
I've got the son of Crown as well.
Crown.
Yeah. Have you got a crown?
Crown.
Okay, so explain to me. To me, this is very similar to the song prior.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I always thought that Just Tonight and Work were of a similar vein. Like I've always kind of linked them. You probably could link this and Kill. They're closer.
Yes,
with sounds.
And that's why I say the next couple of songs are the ones that I associate with the album's sound as a whole.
But what I love about it is I feel like Futures has like a loud big thing, and then you've got Just Tonight that comes in with a rockier kind of we're keeping the energy up, but in a bit of a darker pop way.
Yes,
and then I think it is close to Work, but it's like. It bleeds into Work, which bleeds into Kill. Like Work's in the middle between the two.
And maybe it comes back to the point you made earlier about how this song moves so well, like through the songs. Like it's a really well like structured album.
Yes. I did find this that potentially this and another song were the two hardest songs for me to rate though.
Oh, really?
I wasn't sure if this was a great or not.
Oh.
And I think that was, again, because I was like, I don't think it's as good as Just Tonight. That's the way that...
Isn't that
because
interesting?
I don't love the chorus in this song.
Oh!
Yeah. That's really weird.
That's weird.
So you said the last song you don't like the chorus.
Yes.
I wouldn't react like that about that chorus because I don't think it's like, I can understand the take. But this one I feel like...
you don't... So you don't think that this... You don't like this chorus?
No, I don't think the chorus is what makes this song a crown for me.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I realized that when I gave it a grade, I was like, no, because if this song was done by any other band, I would be like, that's a crown. Especially on albums where crowns are more
this
where
is
they're
one
rarer.
of those ones.
Yeah, but I maybe was going to give it, let's say, the Futures tax, accidentally rate it lower than it should be. And I was like, no, it's definitely a crown song.
For me, this one was like an easy one to rate. It was a crown as soon as I heard it. And for me, it's the chorus, and in particular, it's like the cuts at the start of the chorus.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so effective.
I mean, it's good, and I always loved this song back in the day, but now doing it like with how I feel now about it, it didn't hit me the same. But then I was like, but it's still, again, this is the point. We're judging among the elites here, but it's almost like I'm seeing, like I'm judging the entire bloody scale. They're not. Then I'm not looking at a song going, is it good or is it a crown or whatever? Like somewhere between. I'm going, is it at the start of a crown or is it a really big crown? But it's like it definitely deserves to be a crown. Yeah. Specifically, my nerdy notes are that I would give the verses, crown verses. I've got the chorus as a great chorus, and I've got the bridge as a flame section. I think the bridge where he goes through, I can't say I was never wrong, but some blame rests on you. Work and play, they're never okay to mix the way we do. The way he sings that with the melodies of that is just so sick, and the way the music supports it. I just think I kind of got it as a crown average out. Okay. I just think the chorus is a great chorus, not a crown chorus, in my opinion. Right.
Whereas for me, the bridge is like nothing wrong with it at all. But for me, like the chorus carries it. This is like a classic for me. Like this is a banging chorus. Like the big vocals as well. Like there's something about Just Tonight that has like just a darker feel.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just like a personal preference thing. I don't like that as much. Whereas this song is airier and brighter.
It is, yeah. But it's strange because you usually like the more like emo, darker songs. So that's peculiar to me.
Yeah. Who knows?
That's cool. That's really interesting. Let's keep going. Because I love this album so much, I'm just wondering where the gaps are. That's awesome. If there are. Alrighty, so Kill, what'd you give this one? Are you serious? Same. This is a flame for me as well. Yeah. Holy crap, that's awesome. I predicted Futures, but I thought I might be alone with a flame on this one.
Nah, man.
This is such a flame song. Man, I'm so happy that we can like agree on this one.
So what?
I thought I'd be convincing you. You know what I mean? Not actually sharing.
Well, this was one where I think initially I was like, crown.
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I feel too emotionally moved by this song for it to just be a crown.
This is one of the like best songs of like the pop punk metaverse, I think. Like it's so good.
Yeah. And it's all about his vocals. And it's like, he's so emotionally evocative with the way he sings. And this song perfectly captures that, I think.
Even before when he said about Futures, the what was the exact word he used? Where he's talking about the people in the song. He said the speakers in the song. He didn't say I. He's saying that almost like he's writing for a character, which is so strange because is he hiding behind characters and using his own emotional experience because it sounds so creatively inspired and so honest and authentic? Or is he just the world's best actor where you can write these songs about like love and heartbreak and you believe that it's happening to him and it's about a character?
Maybe he's just like a very good method actor where he like he finds like something within him to connect to this character that he's writing about, you know?
I have a note here that says 6415 done right. That's what this is all done.
But it's also the way the melody moves over it as well. Like there's so many parts in this song where he just crafts amazing melodies where he does little vocal runs as well, particularly on the line, I go to you.
Yeah, the way that moves around it. That reminds me of, there's a song by Keith Urban called You'll Think of Me. And it's like got that beautiful like country-ish vibe to it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There are a couple of times on this album where I was like, there's almost a country twinge. Country like tinge, to his like vocals.
Yeah. And also the way that he starts low and then moves up and then gets into not full falsetto, but like in breathier kind of chest voice or head voice, and then up into the he says here on the side that he wanted to try, this is the song that he wanted to try writing something that didn't have repeating lyrics. And he gave it a go with Kill, of course. And I said, that's a great idea. I'd never noticed that. But knowing that, it made me realize there's not really a chorus. There's the same melody repeating over the same chords, but they're different words every time. So the chorus changes every time in this song, and I never felt like it was lacking as a result of that.
I wouldn't even notice some songs.
If
exactly. You said that. Yeah,
I just said it's so beautiful and emotional. My favorite part is he said, "I loved you, and I should have said it, but tell me just what has it ever meant." The way he gets a bit angry in that part there, that sounds like You'll Think of Me by Keith Urban. There's specifically there's a live performance DVD that we used to watch back in the day, me and Luke at Dixon. Yeah. And because he showed me that because he loved country.
I think you showed me as well.
Yeah. And his voice breaks and stuff, and it's a breakup song as well. So I love that song. So I think this is that too. Oh man, I'm so happy that we connected on that. I feel like we're disconnected on some of these. I thought it might be a different.
Remember the last album we did? We were so disconnected on Bark Like a Dog.
Yeah.
It was constantly just like,
we're like one apart for a lot of them.
yeah, but it's like still like not bang on. Whereas
Yeah.
like, when you have those albums where there's so many where you bang on, you're like, yes. Like,
Well, specifically on Flames, that's the funnest
Yeah, I
part
guess
to
that's
connect
true.
about for sure.
how good is the lyric? Could it be that everything goes round by chance or only one way, that it was always meant to be?
Yeah.
Love that lyric.
Yeah, it's he is really deep without, and none of it feels like he's trying to be overly poetic or anything that is like he's reaching or something
No.
for like outside of what he's capable of writing. It feels so authentic. Like
Yes.
he's so reflective and what's the word? Like deep, but in like an understanding and knowledgeable way. Like he's had the experience to be able to say this stuff. It feels earned. What he's saying.
Completely genuine.
Which is why I'm confused by when he said before about the speakers. Like I've always just imagined that he's just gone through a ton of heartbreak, but still comes out of it with like an uplifting poignancy, not like a depressing sadness.
Yeah. Even his depressing songs have got something uplifting about them.
Yeah.
The bridge in this song is amazing as well. Specifically the melody when he sings, so go on love, leave while there's still hope for escape. That's another one where there's like a little bit of country bit.
Yeah.
When he goes to like the higher part on, I think it's when he's saying hope for escape. But the melody goes up and it's got that same sort of country
100%.
style to the
It's
vocal.
in the delivery. And then he says, there's so much ahead and so much regret. Like we're only going to be worse about this. And then the way that after that cracks back into another verse, like into the, I can't help it, baby. This is just who I am.
Yes.
So I just can't turn off how I feel. You kill me. You build me up just to watch me break. It's so tragic and like, I don't know. It's funny. I'm just going to be gassing him up this whole album, but I think he's nailed it.
Yeah.
Like, and this is a good example of it.
Even that section though, where it comes back in to that verse after the bridge, that sounds massive, but it's not like they're not big cymbals, they're not
That's
big
what I'm
distorted
saying.
like strumming guitars. I think it's like even a palm muted guitar, or like it's playing like it's they do a lot without a huge amount going on musically in that section, partly because of the emotion I think lifts it up.
Well, that's what I was saying about the Futures chorus. That's still just on a ride. It's not a huge crash and cymbal, but it sounds like it should be.
Yeah.
Which is really good restraint. That's really good drum. Like, I don't know who came up with those ideas. He says he had been pushed to write more creatively.
Yeah.
But I've never thought of the Jimmy Eat World drummer as a drummer that plays particularly hard, or it's like the Millen Collins drummer. They just kind of chill and play their thing. But obviously Millen Collins is a whole different sound. But with this album, I mean, sitting on that on a ride beat when you would naturally just want to, it's like they don't have to go for the loud tricks to be loud. But then you kind of sit back and you go, how are they so loud when they're doing something like, I don't know, there's so much, there's so little going on.
Yeah. Okay, The World You Love.
I have this as a crown as well.
So do I.
Oh, do you? Yeah, good.
This is where I started getting guilty. I was like, I'm not sure.
Does this look infected vibes?
Yeah.
But no, I totally agree. Do you know what I just thought then? Like, I just was thinking about this song. I think this is their number 5 with a bullet. Like Taking Back Sunday's one with the catchy kind of chorus, but then he goes up high at the end.
At the end, yeah.
It's a similar thing.
I've said, I've written the big vocals in the outro is what really landed it as a crown for me.
I said, I don't like when he goes high in the end.
Oh!
Sorry.
Isn't that funny?
I just think it, because he goes into a really thin voice. A lot of his depth and warmth comes from him sitting in his nice register.
Yeah.
And then belting that, because it wasn't fully delivered, it's more like it just becomes thinner. I think it loses some of the energy, but let's not talk about the negative stuff. Let's talk about the stuff we love. I said Futures, the album, has a definite sound to it. And I think this song, it hits it right on. This is a good example, I think, of that pop kind of reflective sadness, but summer romance vibe in a way. I don't know, but it's still, again, just another perfect night drive song. So
I don't see it as poppy, super melodic and catchy.
Yeah.
But not poppy in the same way that Bleed American was poppy, that album.
No, but as far as this album goes, this is like you can sing along with it. Like that. Well, that's what I mean by poppy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's sing alongable. I should probably choose my words better.
Yeah.
I love the line where he says in the first verse, "I'm looking for a nice way to say I'm out. I want out." Like he just says it. Like it's so good. I thought it's so awesome.
I quite like the drivey beat that this has that kind of gives it like a really steady energy that like the previous song didn't have. The previous song was a little bit more like open, whereas this song is a little bit more drivey, which like nice contrast.
Controversial take, because it's going to sound like I'm saying I don't like the songs as much. But I wonder if other bands tried to do these songs, I probably would rate them lower. I think, you know, that's actually something I'm realizing now. I love when I figure stuff out, chatting to you about it, we're just talking about them doing so much with so little. A lot, like they do it so well because it's them. But any other band, if you don't have Jim Adkins' voice and delivery and conviction, and you don't have the production that they have and the way that they structure their instruments and their tones and stuff, these songs will have so much less energy and perhaps will be rated much lower. Because when that starts, my gut reaction is, oh, this might be a fine. Like I started a fine, then just worked my way up because it just feels like it's fine. And then they do so much with that energy, like, wow, this is actually incredible. Yeah. Because if when the song starts, you just know how gripping it is at the start. Yeah. And some songs have that fine energy and they stay there. But it's only because I'm comparing at that instant moment when a song starts. This sounds like when other bands do like a floor tom kind of thing with just a riff, it usually ends up being a fine. Yeah. But if you look at the graph, it just goes up straight away because it's Jimmy Eat World. Like nobody's going to do it like that.
For me, it's like exponential graph. Like it just keeps building. And then for me, like the climax of the song was what puts it over the edge to a crown.
Yes. I said this is the specifically for people paying attention if they care. This is the song that I was talking about in particular where I only focus on his vocals when they're in. This is the song that I really realized that. Yeah.
I love the lyric. We're only just as happy as everyone else seems to think we are.
Yeah. But he has
not sure. I feel like that's one of those lyrics though that's like that sounds good, but that doesn't really mean anything. Do you know what I mean? Like
we're only just as happy as everyone else seems to think we are. I think that to me, I
doubt there's any real truth to that.
Well, I think that that comes off to me as like when other people look in on your relationship and tell you like, oh, you're so good together and like everything's so good. And he's like, we can only be as happy as everyone else seems to think we are. Like you should be happy with her, man. She's great. And he's saying he wants out. Like, and people are saying that you should stay. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Another great bridge. That lead guitar part with like the whoa vocals.
I had my mic up. I just kept putting my mic back up for me to like drink water then. With that.
Is it Carl Barron that does that?
Yeah, he does on stage and drinks his water. But he makes that noise that he drinks water. Alrighty, so Payne, what'd you give this one?
I said great.
I've given this a flame. This is such a hard flame for me, this song.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's 3 flames on this album.
So far?
Yep, so far. This song from the very start, I used to think it was pretty good back in the day. I think also because it's in one of the Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters. I think it might actually be in Thug 2, I think.
Okay.
And I listened to it a bit on that, but I was always like, it's a bit overplayed. Like I've just heard it a bunch while I've been playing the game or whatever. And I like other songs. I like Futures and other songs like Kill and Just Tonight and stuff. But of the last couple of years, Payne, I'm like, I think from when I was playing through Tony Hawk's, I was like, oh, this song is so good. And just the way it comes in with the percussion, it's like Easy Target by Blink. It has that similar vibe.
Industrial sort of sound.
Yeah. And the whole concept of the song, I love, like totally can like understand and relate to.
Yeah.
But he says here, what's so interesting about it is that I love this song so much. It gets me pumped immediately. And it's just like, I think that this is a controversial take perhaps. Who might argue about this if you love Futures in particular. I think this might be the best chorus on the album.
Nah, bruh.
What would you rate higher?
Bruh. Bruh. Well, firstly, I'd rate the chorus in Work much higher.
Work's
higher than this. We both gave a crown, but you were like, the chorus is like a great. And I was like, no, the chorus is
Get out of this place where we still have time versus like, takes our pain away. It's the light. Dun, 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 dun. It's so good.
See, I put this like in a...
It's so emotional and like hard hitting this song. It's like, this is really strange because perhaps I'm just seeing an experience or feeling an experience that you don't, but I thought you may have given this a flame as well because it's just so undeniable. Like it's like Futures energy, but like in a more aggressive, emotional way. But then I said it's the best chorus on the album and maybe the best verses. I love it that much. That's how much I love
Surely
this
not.
Song. Yeah, no, I'm not even joking.
Nah, you're wrong.
You've got some growing up to do.
Have you got the actual answers? Because Jay needs the answers.
Oh, it's a shame. I thought I was talking to an adult here.
So I have a note which says chorus probably doesn't elevate it to a crown.
Oh, that hurts.
Not even to a crown.
we don't even need to wait till the Christmas episode for the worst take.
There's something. I'll just do it now.
Yeah, just do it now if you want.
There's something similar. Your bit about this being the best chorus on the album, that's going to feature as well. There's something about the sound and energy of this song that's similar to Just Tonight. And again, I don't.
Okay, maybe it's just not your sound.
It's not my sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think
for me, it's not what I like about Jimmy Eat World. And it just doesn't do it for me. I'm not saying, I've still said it's a great song.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hit me the way a crown does, and I don't connect with it the way I would with a flame.
There's two ranks above great. This is a hard flame for me. And I actually think there'll be quite a few people that would agree that Payne is a hard flame.
Let us know.
Yep.
Is this...
Tell Sam how wrong he is, please. But I love here, he says, Adkins said, Pain was one of the last songs to get completed. Actually, I believe it was the last one, as in we could do nothing else until I finished the lyrics. I took the afternoon off and just walked around University of Arizona campus and just finally did it. Didn't stress out, wrote whatever it felt like worked with the mood of the song. At the time, I thought it was maybe the throwaway song for the album. I thought you'd be going, throwaway song, whatever. You're like, yeah, whatever.
He's right. It was a throwaway
song. Oh my goodness. Sometimes because it happens easy and fast, it can mess with your head. You trick yourself into thinking because it wasn't this super labored process, it isn't as worthy as the other ones that were. Guess I was wrong because it ended up being a single. This is what I was saying. Creativity works every time. Wins every time, sorry. Because I feel like so many times you feel like you have to rationally earn your like hard work. But sometimes the thing that comes to you in 5 minutes is the best thing. Like apparently Damn It was written in 5 minutes. Like so many huge hits.
I can understand that.
Yeah. But it works perfectly. It could, if you overthought it, it wouldn't come out sounding as good. Exactly. So that's, I think, creativity. If something is bursting at the seams, even like on the Used album, we said that they needed a chorus for Taste of Ink. They went to the beach and it came to them straight away.
Yeah.
And that's the chorus it should have always been. There was another album that we did where a band said they rewrote a new chorus and it worked, or whatever. They got told to write something new. But this song to me is so good. I think I connect so much with the lyrics. I think I connect so much with the vibe, the aggressiveness, the anger, the delivery, the conviction. It's all there. But I have to say, I have to kind of just take my medicine with this song of you not liking it, because there's been so many times in the book club in which you've given song flames and I've hit them with a good. So the fact that you've only hit me with a great, I have to just accept it.
It's like being slapped with like a
fish, a wet fish.
Yeah, like a warm, wet fish.
How does it get warm? It's been out of the sea too long.
Someone's been like just putting it between their thighs for like a while. I do really like the theme of the song.
Yeah.
And specifically the pairing of this song with the next song.
Yeah.
Because this song is kind of like about a person kind of like leaning into
painkillers and
And the next song is about like a relationship with someone that has perhaps taken that too far.
Yes.
And so I think the way the two songs are positioned on the album, going from one to the other, I think is super effective. And I really like that. And it's obviously intentional too, because like the end of this song bleeds into the start of the next track as well. So I did like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, you spoke about how like the anger of this song is something you really like. And maybe I just don't enjoy as much Jimmy Eat World when it's like the angry side of it. I prefer the more contemplative, like more uplifting aspects. Because as you were saying before, even like their sad songs that have an uplifting aspect to it, maybe that's just what I enjoy more than like the angry songs.
I think that makes sense. I can totally accept that. I mean, there's been plenty of times I've said in this book club, like I come to this band for this reason and this isn't that reason. You know what I mean? Like they're doing something different with this song and that's not why I listen to it.
Yeah.
So I understand that. You might just like Jimmy Eat World for different reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a band that is particularly equipped to be a loud rocky band, because I like the softer stuff as well. But I feel like when they do it, it's like seeing a superpower you didn't expect. Like I didn't know you guys could do this as well. And it's so good. Yeah. So I hard love this song.
I mean, I love it when they do it. Like Futures is that. Like Bleed American is that.
Yeah.
I Chase This Light. I was on, what's the first? Big Casino. Like they've got those sorts of songs. It's just they're different from this one, which is a little bit more of a darker, aggressive sort of song.
Yeah, it is. It's very aggressive.
I will contradict myself a little bit later on this album.
Sure.
After having said that.
That's not. I was going to say that's not unlike you. That's absolutely true. I was trying to be sarcastic. So the actual truth, it's just that true. It had to come out.
Yeah.
I would put hot take. I'd put so many songs above Bleed American though. The song.
Okay.
Even though I probably would end up rating that quite high.
Yeah.
Probably a crown. I still think so many songs on this album are better than that. I think this album is potentially super underrated.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a lot of people love Bleed American. I remember back in the day, they'd say, oh, yeah, Jimmy, well, Bleed American is such a good album. I'm like, have you heard Futures?
We should do Clarity.
Yeah. We're going to find out who's the first band we do where we finish their whole discography. It'd probably have to be a band with more than a few albums, rather than just be like, oh, the band only did one album.
I doubt it'll be these guys, because like they're still releasing albums now, and like we're not going to do all of their like.
True, yeah.
I haven't listened to any Jimmy Eat World post Chase This Light.
Yeah, neither. Maybe we need to.
Maybe we do.
Write in and tell us.
I feel like we should do Clarity, because I think maybe you'll connect with it more than Bleed American.
Maybe.
It's got some amazing songs on it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This one is going to be interesting.
Okay.
What'd you give Drugs on Me?
I gave it a great.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a good.
Okay.
But it's interesting. We've both come down
yes,
quite a bit.
Yeah.
For me, I found this a really hard one to rate.
Okay.
Because I find the lyrics really moving.
Yeah.
And I find it a powerful song,
Yes.
but it's just a little dull musically
Yes.
and it doesn't go anywhere. I feel like it needed to pivot. And I feel like it's either like at the second verse or at the bridge. It needed to pivot.
Loud. We get a bit louder and lift crescendo a bit.
Or even just give me some contrast in some other way.
Yeah.
For me, it just kind of like just ambles along for a bit too.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my take.
This reminds me a bit of Hear Me. Like it feels like a
Okay.
bit like that, even though that's a much more interesting song. I
Yeah.
think that this one, to be honest, I didn't know where to rate this either. At one point I was like, is this a crown and I'm just not seeing it? And I was like, because at first I was like, can't be a crown because I've given so many crowns out
Yeah.
or above. And then I was like, no, it could be. I'm like, is it a crown and I'm not seeing it? No, that's not right. I'm like, oh, well, good's too low. I think I would be being mean to the song by giving it a good because I do like it a bit more than that.
Yeah.
This is a song that did get overplayed a lot back in the day because my girlfriend at the time, like she liked this album, but we just put this on because it was a soft one and I got sick of it. So
Okay.
I'm so glad I have enough separation from that to actually to assess this song, with some distance. I was going to say objectively, but it's always subjective. That's the part of the book club. Someone says here on pergenius.com, I got to remember, I got stung last week by saying it was the band and it wasn't. Someone has said, Drugs and Me transitions seamlessly from the previous song in the album Pain, both musically and lyrically. I agree with that. Whereas Pain is written from the perspective of someone falling into addiction, Drugs and Me is written from the opposite perspective of a person who is witnessing someone they love fall into addiction. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. That's interesting. But I wonder if it's true that they're actually like linked to the same relationship, which is how,
Yeah.
So I wonder about that.
Do you think Jim was the person in the relationship with the person that had the drug problem? Or do you think it was him and it's like he's putting himself in the shoes of someone he had a relationship with and like how...
I don't know. There's so many different possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, realistically, I just heard this when I was younger as that he went through a drug addiction, got out of it, and now he's with someone else, or he might be with the same person who is a drug addict and being like, I want to be away from that because I've gotten got rid of my addiction sort of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the line specifically is when he says, keep my heart somewhere drugs don't go.
Yeah,
like in
that's
the
good.
bridge. It's kind of a bit sad and like, what's the word where it's like tragic, like as in like,
Yes.
I just want to go somewhere where they don't even exist so I can just be happy like that. I think this is absolutely the way to do a soft one, even though you said it kind of ambles along. I feel like that's true. But again, I feel so just not distracted, but so consumed by his vocals and the way he delivers stuff that I don't care so much for the music around it.
Yeah, okay.
I said it's very emotional. And I said, the sound of this one it totally fits the sound of the album, even though the energy is much lower. And that this is a song that maybe I think some people might default to a fine for because it just the energy goes. And you have to remember that lack of energy shouldn't lack of loudness and energy shouldn't like affect the song and the way it's seen. Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't give it a fine, but like, I don't think the lack of energy is a problem.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's the lack of. I feel like it was missing something because for me didn't went anywhere.
Yeah. Over the course of the entire song. Well, perhaps you won't agree with this then because I said it doesn't feel 6.5 minutes long, but maybe it did if it ambled along. To me, I was like, that's just they've managed that time well, I think.
Yeah. I do love the lyric. You promise that you're done, but I can't tell you from the drugs.
Yeah.
That's very, very
It's
clever.
awesome.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So Polaris, what'd you give this one?
I said good again.
Okay. I said great for this one.
Did you?
Do you know how I said before that like there was the hardest song I had to rate and there was another one?
Yep.
This was the hardest song of the album
Was it?
for me to rate.
Yep.
I had this at great and then I had it at a crown for a while.
Did you?
Then
Okay.
as I pulled up tonight because I was listening to it, I went, no, it's a great. I can't put it in crowns here because it's so weird. It moves me emotionally in like quite an emotional way, obviously, but like in a flame-like way. But it's not quite a flame and it's really confusing because then you go, well, if it's not a flame, then it's a crown. And I'm like, but it's not a crown. Like I feel like flame isn't just the next tier up. You get so good at it being a crown and then you end up being a flame. Like it's
You graduate.
yeah, exactly. Well, I've said this before. I think flames are usually more like perpendicular to greats. You know what I mean? Like they can be. They don't have to be a banger single type thing that's a Hall of Fame song that way. I don't know. It's confused me because this song affected me emotionally.
Did it?
Not
Okay.
enough for a flame. So I was like,
Yeah.
I think I just have to put it at great then.
Interesting. Because I also had it as a great and came down to as a good.
Right.
And the reason was that it's
I did the same thing, but I did it from crown to
exactly,
great.
yeah. For me, it's another one. It's not quite the same as the previous song, but kind of similar in the sense that it needed
Just a bit of oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of sits in it.
My note is that it's just a little bit boring until the bridge.
Okay.
Like I think the bridge is the bridge is awesome.
Yeah.
But up until that point, it's just like it's a good song. That's
Yeah,
kind
sure.
of my
Okay,
impression.
yeah.
It's a good song,
That's fine.
so that's where I went with the rating.
Yeah, I said I love this song now way more than I did back in the day. I used to skip this one a bit back in the day. And I think because I was looking for more stuff, I'm just appreciating more what their vision for this album now as I'm a bit more older and as I'm older and a bit more like wiser to the genre rather than just being like, I listen to the fact that I didn't just listen to one song on this album on repeat is a testament to how much I liked it back in the day, as you know. I really feel like that the verses in this are very brand new-esque, specifically Deja Entendu. Like it sounds a lot like it could be straight from Deja Entendu or had influenced it in some way.
That's a good point.
Oh, sorry, even though Deja came out earlier, like was influenced by it in some way, I mean.
Well, to me, it sounds like, do you know the song Running Up That Hill? I think it's originally by Kate Bush.
Oh, I don't know.
There was a cover by Placebo, I think.
All right.
Very similar sounding in the start.
Yeah, right.
That's the song that it makes me think of. But when you say brand new, I can hear that for sure.
Yeah. I said, this is the song where I said, it sounds like a sad night's drive. This is a really reflective night's drive kind of thing. I said in the chorus, I get brand new Deja Entendu vibes in the verse, like quite strong.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of common. Like we'll say it's not uncommon for us to hear, oh, that sounded like that. In this song, I heard strongly different bands in different sections in the same song. I don't know if that's happened before.
Yeah, sure.
So in the verses, brand new-esque, Deja Entendu-esque verses, TBS vibes in the chorus, the way that the vocals go up in the, what's the line specifically? It's the melody goes, and you go, oh, hey, to me. It has the high kind in it. Reminds me of Taking Back Sunday.
Interesting.
But the bridge more than any of the other sections of like so much Motion City soundtrack. The way he delivers vocally in the bridge, it sounds so much like a later Motion City soundtrack album.
Yeah, okay.
So some of my favorite bands all together in the one song. You think that I probably would rate this?
I can tell that with the Motion City one in the bridge for sure.
When it starts, you'll be like, if you listen to it again and think Motion City, it's like, wow, that sounds 100% like the Justin, his name, Motion City soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a part of the reason why I gave it. I thought I was giving it a crown. But I have to say, me rating the song a great made a big difference. And we'll get to that in a little bit. The decision to change that changed something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Butterfly Effect.
And ironically, they were in that movie.
Okay, Nothing Wrong.
Well, before we rate this one, would I think that you didn't rate this very highly? Because this is another aggressive Jimmy
This is the song where I was like, I'm going to contradict myself.
Right. Classic. Your own setting you up and you're just like, no. I gave this a great.
Okay. I said great as well, but I was like, is this a crown?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love this song. This song to me could be on Bleed American. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Has such Bleed American energy.
It's got that, it's not even just anger and aggression. It's just the rockness.
Yeah.
I have to say though, I never loved the riff to this one when I was younger. I feel like it was like, I don't know, as a guitarist, you hear riffs and you go, that sounds like a riff that you do when you don't have a riff. Like that's how I felt. It's stupid, but I would skip this one. So I never really gave it a shot. But again, I buy a whole album and listen to one song over and over again, as we've established many times. But it's Jimmy Eat World, like this song. It sounds like Jimmy Eat World. That's probably me interpreting. It sounds like it could be on Bleed American. It's the Jimmy Eat World sound. Yeah. And they do it so well, but especially the part where he says, we've done nothing wrong, but we've done nothing. We can't look away, but we're just looking. It's second nature to say, hey, we've done nothing wrong in the chorus. That loud part there is so, when I hear that, and this is what's interesting. To me, when I hear that, I'm like, that's Jimmy Eat World. But perhaps you hear something like Kill and go, that's Jimmy Eat World. But to me, I hear both. And I think that both of them are.
Yeah, because I do think of Jimmy Eat World with this sound, partly because of Bleed American.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird. This doesn't.
Maybe it's more familiar. It's closer to Bleed American that you are familiar with than the other songs were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other songs have got a different energy.
I listened to this album way more than I did Bleed American. I mean that as in I listened to the album more, but I also listened to more of the album than I listened to of Bleed American back in the day. I listened to like 3 or 4 songs on that album rather than the whole thing.
Whereas I think I was probably more into Bleed American.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense then, because that's perhaps why you're thinking and rating things certain ways. Because to me, Futures was like my main introduction. Even though I had Bleed American, this is the one that really settled me into Jimmy Eat World. So I kind of I was impressionable rather than like based upon building this upon prior.
One of the coolest parts of this song is the kind of call and response thing they do in the verse vocals, and with like the repetition of certain words where it's like spin, spin, and burn, burn, baby.
Yes.
That was super, super cool.
Yeah. And I love the part in the second verse where he says, turn them off, all blacklist singers. Don't ask why, don't cry, don't make a scene. The way he yells that don't cry, don't make a scene part is just, and it brings it back around to the start of the next bar. Like it's really cool.
Do you think this song's about the, for sure. Do you think this song's about the music industry and
I
about
think
like
so.
bands selling out and how you get blacklisted and
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of that, like a 45, which is obviously a record, spin. So yeah.
Sure.
I would think that's probably what it's about.
Yeah.
But they're also saying we've done nothing wrong. So like it's the idea of like have your future handed to you by a label, I guess, or whoever
sure.
the problem is. It might not be a label, could be a scene. Could
But
be,
it's like we've done nothing wrong, but we've done nothing. I don't know.
that might be it. It's like, it could, honestly, we're completely guessing here, which is what we're doing on the podcast, but maybe it could be about a similar situation where the label feels, so they feel like their album's been shelved by a label. We've done nothing wrong because we've done nothing, like nothing's happened sort of thing. And
Yeah,
it could
sure.
just be like, we feel like we're getting nowhere.
Yep.
Interesting.
I like how you said that this guitar riff sounds like what you do if you don't have a guitar, because one of my notes is great guitar work. That's the sort of guitarist I was.
Yeah. I mean, it just wasn't me. It wasn't what
Yeah.
attracted me to Futures
Yeah.
was a riff that I'm like, man, how do you write a riff like that? I wish
Yeah.
I wrote that riff. But
Yeah.
with this one, I'm like, it just feels like when the drummer's got a beat and you just like jam. It felt like a jammy riff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Night Drive, what'd you give this one?
So this is the eponymous song that gave us our feeling of when you should listen to this.
Yeah, we need a segment that goes, dun, 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 new Sam word.
Did you know I checked that word meant what I thought it meant? And
Come
it
on,
did.
should they?
Yeah.
I already looked it up and you're
Did you?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I looked it up, I
How can a man be so right and so wrong?
Yeah.
About quaff.
was like,
Good.
no, I mean just like
What was the word you used?
eponymous, but like
Like hippopotamus?
hip hop. The hip hop.
They call me that. Hippopotamus.
Yeah.
My lyrics are bottomless.
We're like how this is the perfect song for listening to when you're driving at night.
Yeah, and it's called
and
Night
it's called
Drive.
Night Drive.
Yeah,
That's
very,
all I meant.
Very apt.
But so what did I give it? I gave it a fine.
Okay. I honestly, this was the song that made me realize that I can't futures tax it because I had this at fine as well.
Did you?
And I was like, but I think
Nah,
against other songs I've given fines to, this is better than those songs I give fines to.
Is it?
Yep.
Is it really?
Yep. It's
No,
it's not.
You didn't future tax it. You just
I love how
appropriately
that's
taxed
the
it.
name of it. No, I gave
such a
this-
good expression.
Did
too.
I say what I gave this one?
You said fine. No, you said
Good.
you said good. Sorry,
Yeah.
you said you were at a fine. And you,
I was at a fine, ended up giving it a good.
Yeah.
I said it has way less energy, but it's still enjoyable. And I said it fits in nicely to the rest of this album. That's all I have to say about it. I don't think it's I mean, for this album, it's fine for this album, but against the other songs, like where does the song sit against other bands? This is a good song, I think, compared to that. But I think that for the energy, I do get that energy of it's fine as my gut reaction. But I was like, no, as what this song is, like where it is objectively is better than other bands. So I can't rate it lower. Yeah.
I didn't.
You just think fine.
I didn't
and sticking
overthink of
by
it. I was just like, my impression of this is fine. It's
Yeah.
not a bad song.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't want to really go back to it. I
Yeah.
felt it was just a little bit too dull.
Yeah,
And
you've said that about a couple of songs.
Yeah, and just like not enough happens in this song.
Yeah,
And
but I
I-
feel like that's what makes it feel like a night drive, though. It's like just a chill kind of
Maybe,
like background noise while you're thinking. That's what. So yeah, I liked it for that reason. I don't have much else to say about it. But
I don't have a whole lot. I do quite like the na 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 vocals that come in at the end. I felt like that did elevate it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I still just was left with the feeling that this was just a fine song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I guess sure. For me, I think that is really good, and it sets the tone kind of perfectly for the rap. It sounds like it's wrapping the album up, but oh boy, have they not finished the album
Yeah,
yet, sort of thing.
Fair point.
So this song I thought was really good, and I think it's a really cool way of, if this finished the album, I would be like, man, needed a something else. Like
Yeah.
even though the na-na-nas are cool, I just don't think this song is a great ender, but I think that it's either here, they're probably pushing it a bit, but like maybe they could have had it as a second,
Yeah.
like second to, how would you say that? Second, then one more.
Penultimate.
Well, this is the penultimate track, right? It's the one just before the end.
Where did you want to put it?
The penultimate.
Oh, the penultimate.
Yeah, penultimate.
I don't know. There's a word for that.
The biro, the penultimate. We'll scrap that. Please. I was trying to think pencil, can't say it.
Oh, right. Okay. 23, baby. What do you got?
Last song, I gave us a flame.
You gave it a flame?
Yeah, what'd you give?
I gave it a crown.
Sure. I can understand that. I originally gave this a crown on my first listen
Did
through
you?
because I loved this song when I was
Oh.
younger. Back in the day, this is one of my favorite songs ever.
Yes.
And I was like expecting it. I was like, here we go. Like, 23 is going to like blow me away. And it didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's just a crown. Like it's I connected with it more when I was younger. And then I was listening to it while driving, believe it or not. That might be the key to loving
Yeah.
this album. And I just got taken back to the being young, and I was like, wow, this song moves me, man. And I think this would be, I had a note written when I gave it a crown saying, I'm sure this is a flame for many people. And I was like, yeah, that person is me. This is a fantastic song.
you know, I had almost an identical experience to the song
Right.
as what you've described. Like this was always my favorite song. It was the song when I went to see them live. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for that moment when they started playing 23.
I never thought they'd play it live because it's so long.
Well, maybe that, yeah.
Yeah, and then they did. They played it at Soundwave, and it was like one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
It was so good. I said that on one of the episodes. It was where the cool breeze came through after like a super hot day. Did you come with us to that Soundwave? I drove down, but I had a car full of people. I can't remember who it was. I drove down. Definitely,
Well, I've definitely seen them live. I'm just not sure. Maybe I.
Oh, you might have.
I'm pretty sure.
You with Green Day, didn't you? But I think they opened for Green Day. I remember thinking that. Oh, you saw Jimmy Eat World there because I hadn't seen him at that point.
I don't remember that. Then I've seen him a couple of times because I don't even remember seeing them at the Green Day show.
Yeah, we went to Soundwave on like a whim. Like we were at a party or something that we're all there. I'm like, oh, Soundwave's like tomorrow. And we're like, can we get to? Like, do you want to go?
Is this the one in Western Sydney? Was it?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
I remember we had to park like 3 kilometers away and walk in the heat.
I think that's the one. I'm thinking of the same show.
Taking Back Sunday played. Motion City Soundtrack played.
Yeah.
Paramore played. Alexis on Fire. That was where. Yeah. You were there?
I'm pretty sure.
Did you come in my car? I drove down.
I thought it was someone dad drove.
It just sounds like you. So classic Sam. Going with someone's dad.
I also had a massive connection to this song. Like this was the song that like moved me most emotionally.
Yeah.
And when I was coming to listen to the song this time around, I was like, oh, here it comes. Like 23. You were expecting to be moved. And I just wasn't moved.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's
like at all, like even to Crown level?
One of my initial note was this is either going to be a flame or a great.
Oh, okay.
And then the more I listened to it, I was like, no, this has to be at least a crown. Like it's too good not to be a crown. And as you say, it's a great like way to end an album.
Yeah.
And then driving over here tonight, I was listening to it because I was like, I better just double check this one.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it in the rain driving, and then the chorus hits, and it like I was like, oh, maybe this should be a flame.
Yeah.
I've kept
that
my
rain again.
That is the rain.
Pouring.
It sounds like it's happening just inside.
It does.
Just out there. Anyway. I stayed with a crown, but it's very much floating with a flame.
Yeah,
and it's one of those ones where I was like, I don't want to like nostalgia vote it. Be like, well, I'll give it a flame because it was always a flame.
Yep.
Anyway, it's received a little bit of a tax. I don't know whether unfairly, but I've still given it a crown. Like,
I think we need to, in admin, utilize that for if we ever decide any changes. And maybe it should only be for albums that are on our. We can talk about them, but maybe we should definitely do it for the bands that also the albums that are on our top 10 list because it may change rankings. You know,
that's
what I mean?
True.
Because I've actually thought about some of my ratings, and there are not heaps because I'm pretty like 99% confident with all of my ratings. But once there's somewhere I'm like maybe I need to readjust that one.
Yep.
But I have a note here. Never have I. Sorry, I said it again. Never have I had no complaints for a song that's 17. Seriously, fire out, man. My brain is not working. Never have I had no complaints for a song that is 7 minutes and 14 seconds long.
Yeah.
It's like if I
at the end of an album too.
Yeah, genuinely. If we were doing an album that I hadn't heard before and I saw the last track was that long, I'd be like, oh, I cannot be bothered doing this, even if it's a fantastic song.
I hope it's one of those ones where the song's 2.5 minutes and then it's silence and then there's a hidden track,
at the end. Honestly, what a gem this song would be for someone who hadn't heard it before. Like if you if you were listening to this album going, oh, the book club's doing Futures, I'm going to check it out. And you go, I've never heard this album before. I kind of like this. This is pretty good. And it's like, oh, I really like Kill. Kill's got this beautiful emotion sound to it. Like, you have no idea what's coming in 23. I wanted to work out though the maths to be like, was he actually, because he says in the bridge, amazing still it seems, I'll be 23. And I was like, is he 23? Like, or presumably younger than that? Like when he wrote this song, like how old was he when he did this album? But I looked it up and he was 29.
Yeah, I was going to say he could have been 23.
But I was like, that's a crazy mature song for a 22-year-old or younger to write.
Surely he's putting himself in he's writing about an incident or a time.
Yeah, a certain time period. But I just wondered if it was like a...
Yeah, sure.
Because again, has so much conviction. It's so believable. You think that he's going through it right now.
Yeah. Conviction is 100% correct.
Yeah,
like
he's so believable.
Because this song in lesser hands could have been very cheesy and cliched. In the same way that Hear You Me could have been.
Yes.
Like they're very similar songs, I think. Does Hear You Me finish that album?
I don't
think it does, but it's towards the end though.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Maybe it's the reason why a lot of people love them so much is because nobody could do this like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we've just kind of figured that out as we've gone.
It could have been so cliched, and yet he just lands it because it's so genuine. It feels so authentic.
How much of a payoff is it? I mean, first of all, if you were to go to a producer, our last tracks, I think let's do like a 7-minute plus song for the outro of like again, no silence, no like breakups or no dramatic. I mean, it's perfect how it moves and swells and changes. Maybe this is what you wanted from the earlier songs, something like this.
Yeah.
But this does swell and crescendo really well. the producer probably would be like, that's crazy. Like, why would you want to do that on the last song? But then 23 is one of their most well-known songs that people love so much.
Interesting it wasn't a single.
Yeah, probably because it's 7 minutes long.
You could have done like a radio version.
Yeah. Would that lose the energy perhaps?
Yeah.
Or the
I feel like this is like one for the fans as well. Like you don't want this to be a single. You want this to be one that.
Yeah. But again, if as far as like emo rock goes, in the sense of an emotional song, this is such a relatable emotional song of like feeling like it's essentially I guess this is growing up, but done in a much more like mature way of like, I feel like I'm getting older and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But how much of a payoff is it when they switch to the major for the last chorus, where it just finally explodes back into the chorus and they move to the dominant rather than from the minor? That's why the whole ending just seems so good. So uplifting and kind of like strong. I just love it. Is that I will say though, I was very happy to see that we didn't do the bonus track for this album as when I was flipping through to see if we had to record. It's called Shame, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't even have it on my version.
I think it sucks. I genuinely would have hit it with like a bad, like 100%. I would have been flirting with a terrible maybe. I really don't like that song.
We haven't even given
We've
a terrible.
never given a terrible out, so that's the nuclear button, like the red button. We need like we have 2 keys to put in before press the terrible button. But that's what I feel like. It's an important thing to like to do that. So I think
I don't think I've ever heard it.
I think the reason that I don't like it is because it's really, really, it's just bad compared to the other songs. So I'm glad that it
bad compared or bad just like
I would give it a bad generally.
Yeah.
The reason I think I flirted with it terrible is because of how good the rest of the album is. It would ruin the album. And the reason I think, it's probably in my objective rating system, it's subjective, but in my world, it would be a bad.
Yeah.
But in the reason I'm like prepared to hit the terrible button is because 1, the rest of the album's been so good, but 2, it would have meant that 23 was not the last song of the album. And it's the best closing song potentially of all time. I don't know. Maybe that's a draft we need to do, or like at least discuss that one day.
Yeah.
But
let's think about it now. What do you think is the best closing song on an album?
I feel like
is there a better one?
Well, I feel like I don't know them as well as I do openers to actually I have to think about an album and think about what it is.
And what like an opener, a closing track serves such a different purpose.
It does,
well.
yeah. And again, some of them try to be a good closing song and don't hit, like I'm Lost Without You by Blink-182. And like,
oh my God, that's, we almost needed the nuclear button for that one.
Keys.
Get the keys.
Yeah, it's got the head, like Greg's got the football.
Get the president on the line.
Like handcuffed to his wrist. But yes, so I think that if they didn't finish this album with 23, I would be like, not even just offended, I'd be outraged. Like it is just the biggest fumble. Maybe that would maybe be the biggest fumble of all time, like with a whatever. So anyway, I don't like that song and I'm so glad that it wasn't.
I'm going to have to listen now.
Yeah.
Should we do a live listen?
We can, but I can't play it without getting stroking.
Yeah.
Do me well. It's like, how dare you say that? How much glowing praise do I have for the rest of the album?
Right.
I think we should
I'll hear just your comments about that song.
So, ratings. What does this bring it out for you for?
For me,
guys, try to keep up with me. I'm sorry. What did this bring this out to you for?
For me, it came to.
I just repeated the same thing slowly, but
I thought to myself, I'm pretty sure that was the same thing.
And it still doesn't make sense.
For me, this came to a 5.18.
Okay, so where does that put it on your list?
Tell you what, make room. Everybody.
First of all, it makes the list.
It does. It definitely makes the list.
Yeah.
It's going to come in at 5th on my list. So it's going to bump
sick.
Everything. So currently, I've got tied for 3rd, Penny Bridge Pioneers and the Untitled Blink album.
Yep.
It's going to come in just under them.
Yep.
So it's bumping, everything under that.
Nice. Well,
what about you?
First of all, I got to tell you, this is 4 flames on an album for me.
Yes.
That's so high.
Do we have a new number 1 on your board?
Well, this is what I wanted to tell you. I need a drum roll. Well, first of all, I need to tell you that my number 1 is Does This Look Infected at 5.92. Okay? Nearly 6. That's crazy to think to get up to an average of 6, which is a crown. That means like essentially a crown average.
Yeah.
All right. So 5.92 is my number 1 spot. Hit me with a drum roll. Do you know how to do a drum roll? I'm going to do my own drum roll.
Yeah.
Futures. Remember, 5.92 is my top spot. To tie 5.92, to win 5.93. Futures came in at 5.91. Just under 0.01 under my top spot. You know what's crazy? I said earlier that it mattered with that song that I took it down from the crown. If I didn't, we'd be looking at a new number one.
Interesting.
So I nearly does this look affected? Look, it's stuck top spot since the first episode till now, but all the way through season 1.
Would have been bumped.
I mean, yeah, we're only like a couple episodes into season 2, but like it's stuck its whole way through.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a big thing to take it out. But when I was doing the averages, I was like, oh my goodness, I've got a new number one. Like that's crazy. What a big deal that is.
Yeah.
And no, so
I feel like this was an album where there could have been. There are a number of times when I was like, I'm not sure if this is X or Y, but could have totally affected where it falls on.
100%. Yeah. By the way, what does that knock off your board? Because that would take one off.
Say it like you mean it. The starting line goes.
That's that's me too. So sorry guys.
Yeah.
Prepare for the hate by the.
Yeah. A lot of people like that album.
They do.
Well, so do we. I mean,
it was in our top 10. There's albums that don't even make it, but just you say anything. Like, I dare everything not be first together. Yeah. That's kind of how it is.
Particularly when you called the Offspring fans delicate. I mean, that was cheap.
That wasn't me. You gaslighter. Oh, that's so funny.
All right. Have you got a baguette?
I do have a baguette right now. Do you?
I've got a baguette.
Later. Yeah. I can't even do it because I got no voice. I got a baguette right now.
I was just like staring at you just then.
It's
it's like I needed a moment to process what was going on.
Well, the problem is that we're both sick and we both do this late. It's genuine. Like I think people would, if you just put on an episode and just skip straight to the end.
Yeah,
we're like slurring our words and stuff, and it was
this is a podcast where they drink.
Yeah, they must hide it for YouTube regulations. It's like no, we're just old and tired.
I did have a drink on one of the episodes with Kale.
Oh yeah,
and that was the one where he didn't even finish rating the album. Like I think.
No, believe it or not, was not to do with the alcohol.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to hear my baguette first?
Go ahead.
So I hadn't listened to a lot of Jimmy Eat World recently. Listened to a ton of it in like high school and then in a couple of years after high school. And now I wouldn't say they're a band that I go back to all that frequently. But man, I'm going to from now.
Yeah.
Listening to this album and like this week going back and listening to Bleed American and Clarity.
Oh, I was going to say, did it make you actually want to check out? Is it just to listen to Futures again or to listen to broader discography?
Broader discography. Well,
nice.
I mean, I know those other albums, but just to go back and listen to them more. Like, I mean, Static Prevails, never really listened to much of that.
Yes.
But to go back and listen to the other ones and then listening to Chase This Light, we found out that we connect on that album, which was an album I've never spoken to you about.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has just rekindled my love of this band. And I think there are a few vocalists that can carry the emotional weight that Jim Adkins can, and that can do it with like the sincerity and the authenticity that he can do it. Like obviously,
conviction is a word I've used 100 times.
Conviction,
this
I totally agree with that. Yeah, and they've obviously been super influential on not necessarily some pop punk bands, but then also the emo genre. But I feel like there are a lot of imitators, and there are a few people that can kind of do it the way that he does it.
Yeah. It's almost like Cute, they try, but they're never going to hit it the same way. Yeah.
And it's because he has that conviction.
Yeah.
And also because even the sad songs have like this uplifting element to them and this tinge of positivity, which I really like. And I think it helps you to kind of connect with them. That's the thing that I really love about this album.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Especially for an album that is especially was the Jimmy Eat World were in the conversation with a lot of other like even pop punk bands, punk rock bands, etc. And then you listen to this and it's like, I don't know, it's so moving in a way that those other bands couldn't really touch. So perhaps that's why a lot of the other bands ended up loving Jimmy Eat World so much, just because they were like, we just can't.
Yeah.
They do that so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't you think as well, the instrumentation and like the musicality around the vocals complements the vocals so well?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of songs.
They're all singing the same language.
Yeah. They kind of leave space for the vocals. And you made a point a couple of times that you're like, when I'm listening to some of these songs, I'm just listening to the vocals. Everything else just gets blocked out.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's, the music's kind of doing its, fitting its purpose by doing that.
That's a good point.
Because if the music was too intricate, it kind of takes away from the vocals, which I feel like is really the main thing about Jimmy Eat World.
100%. And that's where all the, they'll use that word again, the conviction comes from. That's where the believability comes from that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I have two questions to ask the listeners.
Please.
First of all.
My listener?
Yeah.
I'm a listener to you right now.
You're listening to me right now. So you are the only listener.
I'm not a listener because I don't listen to the episodes when they go on.
Figuratively, you are the only listener because you are the only one in the room right now. Literally, you are the only listener because we have no listeners.
And Greg's clocked off.
No one listens to this
No, so we're
podcast.
being kind to Greg this season. Greg's
You said that.
being diligent.
I didn't agree
said
to
that,
that.
did I? Oh.
Yeah, you said that was your New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
My New Year's resolution is to go harder to make up for your, so we don't have a net loss. We need to like keep the Greg hate up.
I'm listening now.
I love this album.
Yes.
So much. I love Futures so much. And I wonder, I don't think that Futures is the most well-known or most universally liked. Like, I don't think that Jimmy Eat World fans, I don't know, maybe prove me wrong. Like, is that the case? Like, do Jimmy Eat World fans think that this is the best Jimmy Eat World album? I personally do. I love this album so much. I've listened to other Jimmy Eat World albums. I love them, but I think Futures is the most consistent. It's what I like the most, and it's what I love. There was a video that there's a clip online of someone asking Mark Hoppus on a stream, rate the Jimmy Eat World albums. And like, he just goes, bap, 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 bap. He just knows them off the top of his head of like his rating. He makes a few little changes, I think. But he has his own rating system, and it's not the same as me. I think he has Futures of maybe 3 or something out of 5. I don't know. I can't remember, but it wasn't a number one. And I wonder that. And if it's not for Jimmy Eat World and Futures, what is an album? I want to hear people's answers to this. What is an album that isn't the most liked, like for a band by the broader society and broader culture, that you will die on the hill of is their best album? That's the question. I want to know what people's answers are. Because sure, like with bands like Blink-182, I love Enema of the State, but everyone loves Enema of the State. They might all universally agree it's their best album, perhaps. But maybe people are saying, no, I don't think so. I think one of their other albums is the best album they've ever done. Now, I could be a stickler here and say, make sure you use our rating system so we know for sure it's not just what you want to say, it's actually how you feel. Well, that's my first question.
I mean, I suspect, having not taking your question on notice, I think Dude Ranch could be an example for me. Like an album that I'll die on the hill for that. I mean, I don't know, like, because Blink fans span such a lengthy period, like in terms of like
they really
hard to
are
gauge.
The music equivalent of The Simpsons. They just have a huge catalog.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think of one right now.
It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like there's so many albums that you might be like, that's my favorite album by that artist, and you might have too many people agreeing with you. Like the trick is to be to essentially be like, no, I know that consistently that's the best album they've done.
Actually, one that I can say fairly confidently is War and Errorism by NoFX. I know that's not going to be the favorite among fans of NoFX, but for me, that's my favorite of their albums.
That's a really good answer.
That's probably the one I would die on the hill for that maybe the rest of the NoFX fans wouldn't.
I would 100%. I think my first one that comes to mind is for Brand New, it would be Your Favorite Weapon. That's my favorite brand new album. And a lot of people, there's people like Kale who just don't even acknowledge its existence because to him it just doesn't sound like Brand New.
Yeah.
But thinking about that, Kale said he doesn't like Jimmy Eat World at all because they're boring. So let's not take.
They're boring. He
said that on that episode. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because Deja and Tender came to mind as an example, but I'm not sure where that sits in terms of Brand New fans.
Yeah, I think a lot of people pretty universally agree that Devil and God is their best album.
Sure.
I think.
It probably is. But
yeah,
it's all about the one that you connect with the most.
Yeah.
Good question though. What's your second question?
I can't remember. I've lost it. My brain's not working, so I can't remember. Trying to figure it out. Thank you.
I've got another. Oh,
what?
I've got another baguette question.
Oh, you got a whole bakery.
Not question.
So many
baker's dozen. The production on this album is so good as well. And it's interesting, we were talking before about how they'd obviously worked with Mark Trombino previously, and I think all of the Jimmy Eat World albums sound awesome.
Yeah.
But the production on this one is so good. But it's interesting that he's produced it so well, but hasn't produced the emotion and the energy out of it. And I know you made a point, was it the last episode or recently, you made a point when I was talking about how, I think it was when I was talking about how I kind of like the 90s style of punk and pop punk has more than 2000s. And you're like, maybe because when it was more produced, it kind of like takes out
the punk. Yeah.
It's kind of like here, we were saying that Bleed American is a really well-constructed album that with tons of really great songs, but just missing something on the whole.
Yeah.
And perhaps like this is an example of like, this is so well produced, but it keeps the emotion and it keeps the authenticity.
Yeah.
Really effectively.
Every song is like, if they're a plant, they're all perfectly bloomed. They're exactly the song needs to be. There's nothing where you look at it and go, oh, if that just had a bit more time in the sun, so to speak, it would have come out. It's like, no, every song is just fully all it can be to the point where you think there isn't much more they could do with them. I think it kind of got to that point where they made something special.
Yeah, sure.
But again, an album that I don't hear when I hear about Jimmy Eat World, a lot of people don't talk about Futures that much. And I don't get it because this is, as I said, my favorite one for sure.
I reckon if we were to poll Jimmy Eat World fans, I think they would say Clarity is there.
Okay.
I reckon that's probably the one that's like among most Jimmy Eat World fans, that's probably the one they say is the best.
Yeah,
but that's
right.
probably like
maybe
an older Jimmy Eat World. Like I never connected with that album as much as I connected with Bleed American, this and the following album.
Yeah, well, I haven't rated those albums yet using this system. So who knows? Maybe I like an album better than Futures.
I reckon we should definitely add clarity to the schedule for maybe next season.
Yep. Alrighty, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for putting up with our sick brains. I tell you, like I gave it my best shot. It's funny. It gets funnier the stupider we get. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We'd love it so much if you could tell a friend about the podcast and get them join in the book club to rate along with us. That'd be fantastic. Whatever platform you're on, if you want to leave some form of interaction, that helps us out more than anything. You guys have made it to the end of the episode. What is it called? The Quaff Squad. You get it through to the end. You put up with our ramblings for a couple of hours. You
get a free quaff.
Well, you deserve to. I was going to say it's like they win something, but it's like you deserve to leave us a comment or something like that. Would help us out so much. Thank you if you do that. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. We have to, before we forget, because our tired brains will forget. What is the album for next week?
Album for next week is.
Oh wait, I could do it every time I forget to do a drum beat. How terrible it is. I'm going to do the drum beat for that song, Shame.
Morbid Stuff by PUP.
Is it really?
Is it?
Oh, that's so sick.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm happy to hear it. I'm not telling you like, is that like you made a mistake?
Okay.
No, I'm saying awesome.
Because when I said it, I was like, look, I'm just going to take a stab in the dark here. I'm pretty sure. I didn't look at my list, but I'm pretty sure it's Morbid Stuff.
We're running with it because I'm so keen to do that album.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a good album.
Yeah. There are some similarities, I think,
in this
emotionally between PUP and Jimmy Eat World.
Oh, dude, I'm keen. I haven't
not musically, but like emotionally.
Yeah, and in authenticity of the delivery of the emotion.
Yeah.
I haven't. It sounds like I'm like, yes, I love this album back to front so much. I love a couple of songs off this album, and I'm really keen to. I've always really wanted to sit down and do it in the book club and focus on it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. That's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
But before we get there, there's one more thing we have to do.
There is, because it's time for Poppeth Punk.
Dude, it only half worked. Pop punk in the style of Shakespeare. One verse, one chorus. You get one guess. You know how it works. Let's go.
To the one whose favor I once held dear. I
got it already.
Imagine. I entreat thee, abandon me not, wandering solitary in the dark of this unhappy hour. If thou must depart, then I beseech thee only this small mercy. Convey me unto mine own door, and there take thy leave. Fear not for my welfare thereafter, for I shall endure. Such sorrow is not new acquaintance to me. I have borne its company before, though I confess this present wound cuts somewhat deeper than the last. Thy words, once spoken, abide with me still. Thou didst declare plainly and without tremor that I am no longer the soul that dwelleth in thy thoughts. Thou saidst, moreover, that what once brought delight between us hath withered, and that my presence weighs upon thy spirits as a stone upon the breast. Hearing this, I made answer as best a man might when his heart is laid open before him. I prayed thee not to let the shadows of my yesterdays darken the bright road that lieth before thee. Let not my troubled past stand as a ruin through which thy future must pass. Yet thy reply was swifter and sharper than any dagger's point. With cold resolve thou didst bid me be begone, and warned that I should take great care lest the door strike me as I departed from thy sight. And so I take my leave.
Oh man, I don't know if it's because I'm sick or if it's a hard one, but that's tricky. There's a couple lines in there that I'm like deciphering it in my head as you're doing it, but nothing's grabbing. And I'm not getting any vibes. I'm trying to think if that said stone against my breast.
No.
What?
That's not going to be.
Oh. You looked at me when you said it.
I did. And as soon as I looked at you, I was like, he's going to think that's a hint.
I did. That sucks.
No, that wasn't. I was more just like...
But with the door hitting you on the way out sort of thing?
Think that.
Yeah.
Think in that space. And a door hitting you.
Yeah! Oh, man. That's a really good one. Yeah. Oh, because in my brain, because the couple of Poppeth Punks you've done were from a little bit more of a... It reminded me of another one you did in the past that was of a similar kind of vein.
Yeah.
This of a similar theme of being in a village and that type of thing. We'll leave it at that. And I was like thinking that it was along the lines of that. It's funny how with this game that your brain gets attached to something that may not be relevant.
It's funny, the bit about
but
stone upon the breast. It's just got nothing. They completely removed. I don't think it's something relevant.
Oh, sure. Okay. It's a little bit more of a deep cut. That's what I was trying to say than what I may think. But that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Well, you know how it is. If you get it right, if you're the first one to answer on the video, then we'll shout you out in the next episode. Have a great week. We'll catch you next one. Hopefully we're feeling better by then.